My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. It's 7:50 a.m. This is the fake sun that is in perfect alignment with me while I am at, I believe, LARK, Ellen Avenue, and Amar in West Covina, California, where the entity is maintaining aerial surveillance while the fake sun is rising in alignment to me in West Covina, California. This is neither Las Vegas, Nevada, Courtyard by Marriott on Dean Martin at 7:49 a.m., nor is this coexisting with that, daylight savings time or not, nor is this Hesperia, California, or any angle during daylight savings time, where at the same exact time the sun is capable of being seen at this precise angle in alignment to me at both locations. This is in Hesperia at the Courtyard by Marriott, where I just documented the light source being outside of my hotel room window, the same angle facing the pool at 7:49 a.m. where the entity kept the fake sun, as I documented yesterday, exiting well after 12 p.m. This is today, 7:50 a.m., showing you the sunrise that's in perfect alignment with me. This is where the pattern of conduct is recognized. This is where the entity is stalking by the West Covina Police Department in helicopter at 4:28 in the morning, amplifying it in order to engage in what is harassment and terrorism, while the people of the state, you have a high level of traffic activity, which is creating sensational activity, amplified audible activity, while they're monitoring what I'm publishing online about the people of the state, West Covina, California. That is a group stalker. And the direct evidence is the scientific impossibility that the sun is at an angle over Woodside Senior Apartments, capable of being captured, as I have outside of Tracy Banks's front door, apartment number 51. Being outside of my hotel room window, even in Hesperia, California, at the same exact time at 7:49 a.m., where the video documentation shows that it stayed outside of my hotel room window as I documented it at 10:26 in the morning, where I documented it over that same hotel building in Hesperia, California after 12 p.m. yesterday. And I am in West Covina at 7:50 capturing this video And as I am on LARK Avenue, the nearest intersection being Amar, adjacent to WINWOOD Apartments in West Covina, California, where the entity is stalking through plane and helicopter, notable to both the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department and the West Covina Police Department, who are stalking by plane and helicopter, and the people of the state are stalking. Crossing path right here. This is all engineer light that they're driving in. And while they drive by, engineer light moves inside of my car, which is not the result of driving by like that. All right. The demons are the same engineer light that you've seen moving across surfaces. They know exactly who I am and where I'm at. And the admission of that is impossible light activity being and moving inside of your vehicle. These are demons who are engaging in pacing, crossing path one after another. You can see impossible light activity that is on the street as they're driving in it, monitoring on the roads and the highways. WINWOOD Apartments and all the people of the state that are living here are engaged in group stalking, and they do so with the West Covina Police. This is terrorism. As you can also see, impossible light activity is also here on the roof of my car. This is absolutely demonic and impossible. The fake sun is down here, and there is no angle where any light is going to appear here. This is stationary light, and it's also dynamic while the demons drive by. Engineer light is moving inside, and this is what the entity is doing, monitoring me. They know exactly who I am and where I'm at, and these are demons who are pacing. This is the people of the state. West Covina, California is indeed a group stalker. All right, this is P.O.C. It's currently 7:54 a.m. This is showing the impossibility that the sun is over Las Vegas, Nevada, over the Courtyard by Marriott. Give or take away 1 hour. That it would be outside of my hotel room window in Hesperia, California, as I'm shooting outside of my hotel room, facing the back portion of that parking lot where my hotel room faced, and showing that this would be the sun that at that same angle at that same time. West Covina, Hesperia. This is, again, the evidence showing the entity keeping the fake sun as I'm living in Los Angeles at Alvarado Gardens. This is the pattern of conduct, again, by the people of the state. 7:54 a.m. This is the prosecution in the state of California. Federal group stalking and monitoring. This is P.O.C. It is 7:56 a.m. It's Tuesday, November 12, 2024. And what you will hear is the video documentation published on the podcast for purposes of prosecuting the state of California. This is for documentation of West Covina, California, the people of the state who are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, knowing exactly where it is that I'm sleeping. This is shown through the impossible light activity that is captured on video inside of my car, but also the pattern of conduct, as I've already proven, the reality of the directed light, which is literally a scientific impossibility, not the product of natural sunlight behavior. And it's occurring while West Covina, the people of the state, and the state acting directly, stalking by helicopter, as I documented last night at 10 p.m. On what was Amar and Grandview Lane, and I documented again at 4:28 a.m. On LARK license DL5K36. That's a paper plate. The people of the state are group stalking on this street where the fake sun is rising in perfect alignment to me. And I am not in Hesperia at the Courtyard by Marriott. I am in West Covina on Amar. WINWOOD Apartments is a third-party facilitating venue, group stalking with the state, and so are the rest of the people. 7YMN278. DL38K89 paper plate. These are demons. And this is West Covina is filled with the demon possessed who are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. And this is a sex offense while I am subject to the pattern of conduct while I am outdoors, which I've documented. I'm going to the Glendale DMV. Not only is the entity stalking by engineer light, which moved across the Glendale DMV building, but the fake sun is remaining over my head at the Glendale DMV. The entity is keeping the fake sun while I am at the Social Security office in Los Angeles, and the population is crossing paths via the roads and the highways. This is the population. The city of LA is a group stalker. The people of the state engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, exhibiting demon possession and doing so in the specific environment. That is an admission by a population that knows who you are, and the specific environment is evidence of targeting you. And this is relevant to what is terrorism by the state, while the specific environment is maintained, including inside of my car, which is what I documented on video. You can see stationary directed light. It is impossible light activity. You can see my shadow appearing on the roof of my car, while the fake sun is outside of the passenger side of my vehicle. I am in the city of West Covina. And that is not any angle where you can see the sun in a natural environment outside of my hotel room window in Hesperia, California, at the same time at the Courtyard by Marriott, a third-party facilitating venue where the fake sun remained outside of my hotel room window. It didn't move anywhere such that it could ever be seen in West Covina, California, especially as I departed from that venue yesterday after 12 p.m. and the fake sun remained over that hotel. And it remained over me as I drove away from that hotel. That's why I go to the links I do in order to document and show you the direct evidence that, again, another venue, West Covina, California, the people of the state are group stalking in this city. And so is the state stalking in helicopter on this street where the fake sun is rising, and the entity is maintaining at an average of every 5 to 7 minutes amplified plane activity, and the entity engaging in terrorism stalking by helicopter activity. It's currently 8 a.m. This is documentation of the people of the state, and I will be documenting the terrorists that are living in facilitating venues around where I'm located, where the fake sun was rising, and they are engaged in group stalking where they live. All right, they are engaging in terrorism together while I'm being terrorized by impossible light activity. The people of the state are living in a relevant position, engaging in the convenience of terrorism in California. It is currently 8 a.m. License plate 9EBE281 77807A4. This is a paper plate, C978543 on a red Ford F-150, 7KYH683, 9GBZ598, 6JCN035, 7XJS344, 9NQZ135, 7MMD092, 9LNK285, 8LFZ183, 9CLX936, 8FCC770. All of these third parties where they're living, they are engaged in terrorism with the state of California, with the terrorist organizations. That is the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department and the West Covina police engaging in terrorism by helicopter, and that's a basis of federal prison. I'm preparing to document a large amount of third parties, but I just want to be clear, they are all qualified for federal prison. It's 8:01 a.m. License 7B-UC 872. License 8UKU 624. License 9LBC 063. 8Z. Hold on, let me get this back plate. I can't see it. 1 second. 8ZBR 918. 7THH 457. This is the people of the state at 1937. It looks like 1935. These are the addresses where I'm reading the series of license plates of third parties on LARK Ellen Avenue, where the entity is group stalking. You can see the fake sun over me at this facilitating venue. The people of the state engaged in surveillance all night long based on where they live. The people of the state are group stalking on the roads and the highways, maintaining relevant positioning. This is corporate terrorism, which is how the state of California is engaged in group stalking, primarily through the population that's group stalking in concert with the corrupt law enforcement agencies who utilize helicopters, who use also their police vehicles, trucks, and ambulances while they engage in things such as criminal summoning. The entity is relying on aerial surveillance. This is stalking me by plane and helicopter, where I captured video of the fake sun, which is a scientific impossibility. This is the intent of that population to maintain presence in the manner, and also with regard to the evidence of the impossible light activity, which is coexisting with their criminal presence driving on the roads and the highways. None of this is protected. None of this is public. This is all a facilitating venue, and you will be prosecuted for the malicious system of surveillance in California, and that's what West Covina, the people of the state, are engaged in. License 6TBG623, 9FYB090, 8FLY900, 9LYT614, 9NKT943, 9ERM741, 8XNT048, 8HLZ992, 6XDG743. This is handicap LK551. Again, that's handicap. 9DYF358, E189K1, 5RLC163, 8LWV806. Stalking at their home under fake sun. Alrighty, that is 1828. The address, the demon stalking where they live. License 8NFH096. You can see the fake sun over their venue. and they're doing so in order to monitor me. That is, again, you have no protection, no shelter from a federal prosecution where you're group stalking where you live, and you can see the fake sun over their house. The entity's keeping the fake sun as I'm capturing video outside of my hotel room window in Hesperia, California. That's the intent, to maintain presence in the path as you're reversing out of your driveway. That's a demon stalking, all right, and engaged in federal stalking, knowing exactly who I am, and that is also known through the specific environment. License 9LBV 672. That is the people of the state group stalking by monitoring me as I'm crossing path, and they're monitoring me literally fake sun, simultaneity of conduct reversing at 1828 Jennifer Place. License 6YBT 772. License 8BQM095. License 1DVK013. The same with regard to the people of the state at third party facilitating venue 1845 Jennifer Place. License plate 9BOX 682. That is, again, the people of the state at 1845 Jennifer Place, group stalking where you live. License plate 4WDJ727. They're doing the same thing while they're remaining in their homes, and the West Covina Police Department is group stalking me by helicopter. They're engaging in terrorism as a way of life in West Covina, California. West Covina is a sex offender. West Covina is practicing state surveillance, and they're doing so corporately, and they do so with impunity. Okay. License 5XRF865. License 9KZP821 8KPS027. It's currently 8:07 a.m. License 6MDM279 5UYM425 7DNX185 8CSX708 8ECA560 8TEP611 9MBA132 8SSE833 5MIV660 5BRU810 5BNF207 handicap LJ029. License BOTOBI. License plate HCH005 8TEP611, in case I didn't read that one, 5JZC568 8TIZ813 8N37859 51109G3 8TKV676 6SBS061 8VDG798. The people of the state at 1900 Edenview. Believe this is where I'm at. Let me confirm. The people of the state at 1900 Edenview Lane, 1904 Edenview Lane. License 7306P3. Excuse me, let me get this. This is a third party crossing path. Coming around to hand over their license plate to me. License 77063P3. Pacing with another demon on Edenview with impossible light across the curb. 8EEG645. These are demons group stalking in West Covina, California. 95010L3 at what is 1904 Edenview Lane. License 7LIS399. Group stalking at 1908 Edenview Lane. License 8SSP273. Group stalking at 1912 Edenview Lane. License 6URB716. License 753RJ, that's a handicap plate. License 7WVX420. Group stalking at 1916 Edenview Lane. License 5931N handicap 90810Y2. Group stalking at 1920 Edenview Lane. License 10897P3. License 6XLD975. Group stalking at 1924 Edenview Lane. License 5MBT157 7UEU457. Group stalking at 1928 Edenview Lane. License 7NOY874. License 8GEV340. Group stalking at 1929 Edenview Lane. License 9JTP872. License 9CLJ656. Group stalking at 1933 Edenview Lane. License 5FZE045. License 9HTB 687, 9FDR 887. Group stalking at what is 1937 Edenview Lane. License 6EAW 376. Group stalking at 1227 Derrick Court. 8LLV 962, 5DIH 956, 8HPN 188. Group stalking at 1228 Derrick Court. This is all in West Covina, California. License plate, 1232, third party facilitating venue 1232, Derrick Court. Third party facilitating venue 1236, Derrick Court. Third party facilitating venue 1231, Derrick Court. License 9PSU 048. License 74 PAT. Right? Yeah. Alrighty. It is currently 8:11 a.m. This is the people of the state gang stalking me while the West Covina police terrorize in a helicopter, while the entity is maintaining criminal surveillance using planes over the vehicle that I'm at on AMAR. It's a matter of public information where I'm at. They're tracking my movement. They know exactly who I am. They are the state of California, the people of the state, West Covina, California, engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. It's currently 8:11 a.m. This is, again, getting the perimeter around relevant positioning is what I'm documenting with regard to the prosecution of the people of the state. And this is, again, the pool of defendants. License 6XNZ582, 8RLT220. This is third party facilitating venue, 1900 Jennifer, 8BGW271. Yeah, group stalking at third party facilitating venue 1900 Jennifer Place. Group stalking at third party facilitating venue 1911 Jennifer Place. License 6KUV 888. License 8BXT 698. License GY420. This is a handicap plate. Group stalking at third party facilitating venue 1915 Jennifer Place. Group stalking at 1916 Jennifer Place. License 6NBH 389. License plate. Group stalking at third party facilitating venue 1920 Jennifer Place. License plates covered up. Documentation by address of the third party facilitating venue. License 9NFE 700. Group stalking at third party facilitating venue 1919 Jennifer Place. License 53378A4. Group stalking at 1924 Jennifer Place in West Covina, California. License third party crossing path, impossible lie to cross these facilitating venues, 8XYN 106. That's a demon group stalking, incriminating all of these demons that I'm documenting by address and license plate. At third party facilitating venue, group stalking with that demon while impossible light moves across all of these other facilitating venues at 1928 Jennifer Place under the fake sun. Let me go ahead and capture that right now because it's ongoing confirmation for this West Covina. The people of the state are going to be prosecuted for federal group stalking and monitoring. License 8NVF193 at 1928 Jennifer Place. License 4YGM 804 group stalking at what is 1930 Jennifer Place in West Covina, California. License 5LRD047, 5YVP346, 8LHL598, license 48YW812, license 8YVH613, license group stalking at 1104. This is Jennifer Place, I believe. Let me go ahead and get this license plate. A demon crossing path under the fake sun and engineer light. 6CNC228. That's a Caucasian female, wears glasses, brunette hair, impossible light, and the entity is stalking with amplified plane at the same time at 8:15 a.m. where I am located. Located 1101 1104. Yeah, located at 1104 Eclipse Way. It is license 6ZUA 677, I believe, at 1101 Eclipse Way. License plate 7TGV 565 8SKH 504. License 9NLN861 and 94435V1 at third party facilitating venue 1100 Eclipse Way. License 6UKX219, 9KZM707, 1SNDTCO. That's a license at 1048 Eclipse Way. Third party facilitating venue 1048 Eclipse Way. 8TUY668. License 8HGC580. License 7APR 069, 6UGT733, 9GBN555, and 8UZR263. License 7FYH263. License 9NLR991. License 8XTM482. License 5DLY651. License 6ZUR367, 9BGX028. 5LCR282, 5WYT297, 9NFR191. License plate 8CDM078, 6EVK838, 7DXN160, 8XZD568, 5KXZ542, 6FUP382, 7WYT869, 6WMV276, 7KMX326. This is a commercial vehicle at 1020 Eclipse Way in West Covina, California. It's a van, a white Chevrolet van, license 40151S3. License 40311R1. License 8MMP325. License 9FCT189. License 8MVN981. License 7YFG010. License 4PJC130, license 8T19537, license 6B37361, license 5YXZ675, group stalking at third-party facilitating venue, 1009 Eclipse Way, impossible light activity moving inside of my vehicle. The fake sun is behind my car. Let me go ahead and take a picture of that. Alrighty, you saw impossible light activity on the video that I captured. It's stationary on the roof of my car while the fake sun is outside of my rear windshield. There is absolutely no possible way for this light activity to occur because these demons that I'm documenting by address and by license plates are group stalking in real time. This is impunity. The city of West Covina is a group stalker. They're going to be prosecuted. License 7GRX016. License 8TSH777. 10511K1. License 7ZGJ175. License 5MUG458, 7V55499. License 3MTX240. I'm now on LYNDA and Eclipse Way in West Covina. So this would be license 6WRJ377. And this is third-party facilitating video 1934, LYNDA Lane. License LK621, that's a handicap plate, crossing path. License 6WRF495. I want to be clear, while they drive by me on these residential streets, while I'm documenting all these facilitating venues and license plates, all of these facilitating venues and license plates are the people of the state who are in real-time group stalking. Just want to be clear. They're engaging in the crime while I'm documenting somebody driving by on the street. They're engaging in the crime while I drive by their home. They're inside. This is called relevant positioning. You know this because the fake sun is over me. License 5SRM360. License 64317U3. 8VAN339. They're all engaged in federal stalking under Title 18. That's an independent basis of federal prison, by the way. You don't have to engage in group stalking with the police to find yourself in federal prison. License 9DQR900. 6BZE824. 3XRX424. Again, 6WRF495. 6GIR353. Make sure this is correct. 3XRX424, yeah. License 8MMJ745, 8VSK077. Third-party facilitating venue 1949 LYNDA Lane. No license plate present. The facilitating venue is sufficient to document. I'm on LYNDA Lane in Eclipse Way. This entire neighborhood, I'm getting relevant positioning, giving a good idea about where I'm at and everyone that's a part of the state that's being prosecuted based on where I'm at and the terrorism that I'm subject to. MMAJUDG at 2002 LYNDA Lane. License 8ZKA178. License 7LVX163, 5HWB539, license 6LHN851, 8AIY700, license 73289C3, 6XYW164, 6SIT115. License, gang stalking at 2017 Linda Lane. I'm at Linda and Dorf, so I'm going to get this correct after. Make sure it's not Dorf or Linda Lane, but it's at the intersection. License 5PHD 804, group stalking at 2018 Linda Lane. Let me get this address. All right, this is indeed 2017 and 2018 Linda Lane. These are two facilitating venues on both sides. And the people of the state are group stalking with license 6NBH371. A demon aware of what I'm doing on my phone tries to hurry up and scurry past, trying to avoid documentation. That's exhibiting obsession. Okay? License plate. And they're all group stalking. So one demon thinks that they're getting away and their co-conspirators being documented. They're all group stalking together. But it's showing mental illness, and it's also showing the implosion of an elaborate system that's not intelligent. And now everybody gets in trouble for what everybody's doing together. License 5ATV707. Group stalking on what is 1000 DORE. DORE Street. Dorr Street. I'm at Valinda and Dorr Street. This address is again 1000 Dorr Street, where license 5ATV707. Group stalking. License group stalking at 1004 Dorr Street in West Covina, California. Crossing path 03772A2. 5XNL567. License plate, and it's currently 8:23 a.m. Group stalking at 1012 Dorr Street. That is indeed 1012 Dorr Street. DORE is how you spell door. License 8DSX543. License 5SGL965. License 6WBJ314. Okay, license 6NMD590. License 8VMT014. 6SWN317, 5STM568, 6SDJ518, 5WRV138, 9LAW036, 5FQV629, 8FKR673, 4HBA463, 9BMV780, 529MINE, 7PFW645, 7NUR924, 5TWJ354, license 8LKE836, 7Y32595. I'm at the intersection of Diane Place and Kelly. Diane Place and Kelly Way. I am at third party facilitating venue. 1019 Diane Place. That's correct. 1019 Diane Place, West Covina, California. That's a third-party facilitating venue. Documentation, group stalking. License 8LKE836. License 7Y27714. License 6EMB655. This is third-party facilitating venue 1030 Diane Place. License 7UVT296. License 8POK043. License 6TZR464. License 4UNR788. Group stalking at 1035 Diane Place. License 8KBC605. License 8KUA358. 8JHY427. 7UJE147. 9ABX967. 7ZQR344. 7DRD102. 8CTY506 and 6PVJ369 at 2000 Scott Road, group stalking. That's a third-party facilitating venue. correct. Just confirming my addresses. I'm taking multiple angles of documentation. I'm also getting screenshots of the addresses of the people of the state. Cannot escape. They think that they're clever. If I document your neighbor, I don't have to get your license plate and address. I'm getting your license plate and address because I'm going to embarrass you as I document you and prosecute you as well. You can get a third party's address and everybody in relevant position is going to be prosecuted. I have a purpose to expose everyone, as many people as possible, while I prosecute them. License 6HKY764, 6DLZ854. Third party facilitating venue 2005 Scott Road. Third party facilitating venue group stalking 7ERJ808. License DL04G52. That's a paper plate on a white Kia at third party facilitating venue 2009 Scott Road. License 6YTR538 9MVC102. License Impossible Light Activity. The demons at 2012 Scott Road are group stalking, as well as the demons at 2013 Scott Road. License plate 6KKX585. They're demons that are group stalking where they live. Okay, the whole acting, their whole life is a masquerade, and they're group stalking an American citizen while they're inside of their home. Okay, what they're doing isn't even about them; it's about me while I'm on the street outside of their home, and they're gang stalking me. All right. License 8KAM074, license 6BMH004, 5WEJ140. Looks like a disabled vehicle, but it's a license plate, so I'm documenting it. JCWORX, license 7C50552, license 8GDY674. This is a Texas plate, SNC5104. Third party facilitating venue 2024. No license plates bearing. Documenting by third party facilitating venue. The fake son remaining over me as they are crossing path, engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring by virtue of where you live, which is intolerable facilitation. Impossible light. I'm looking at it on their wooden fence. It's 2024 Scott Road is a group stalker. License 8V28067. License 3TJF036. License 9GNY120. 5MRZ168. 5EWT510, 7BUD401. The Hacienda La Puente Unified School District is group stalking. A demon is driving this bus. License 1040727. Pacing with a third party 7YHY493. These are the demon possessed that will not be driving public transportation. They won't be flying planes. They won't even be in law enforcement to drive or fly helicopters, let alone have a license to, for example, have your own personal helicopter, let alone drive school buses, work around children, while you have a demon possessed group stalker. This is a sex offender that's driving a school bus and is group stalking, all at the same time. That's what fills the city of West Covina. Group stalkers who are driving school buses, engaging in that pattern of conduct. License 6BXF232. That was, again, La Hacienda Unified School District that was group stalking that cross path. Just want to make sure you are aware of that. License 9KLH549. 8PSX509, and all the people of the state that are all in these facilitating venues that I'm documenting, they're stalking as those two vehicles waiting for me to approach the intersection, and they are, as I arrive, crossing path, a school bus and another demon in their vehicle. They're driving in opposite directions. They're pacing. They're tracking my steps, which you also know by virtue of the fake sun. And that is a demon, a sex offender that is an operation of a school bus speaking to access to children. License DL52N51. Paper plate 10098Y3. It's the same for all of these demons that live in West Covina, group stalking with the demon that's driving a school bus. These are the same sex offenders having custody of children. License plate 9KZV790. License plate 9NZE425. License 6UBC 726. License 8ABC847, 5GKJ877, 9CZB386. License 8ZJP031. License 05493B4, 5R14402, 5LBE191, 6UJX951. License 6KVJ798. Lying in wait. This looks like a dark-skinned African male. Could be an African or an African-American. 6NMD590. Lying in wait conduct at Kelly and Dore Street. This license plate is 9NZE425. At what is third-party facilitating venue. 2019 Kelly Way. Group stalking. License 6SWN317 and 5STM568. It's 8:32 a.m. I just want to see. Yeah, I documented these already. So I just want to go back. Third party driving up to a third party facilitating venue is monitoring me and doing so. It's what's so pathetic about what these demons do. It's all about me. They're not just driving by on the street. They're not just parking or coming off, driving onto or away from the property. They're stalking, and it's pathetic. So I'm going to document that third party. You're monitoring where you're living. You're having your own self documented. It's bad enough that I can drive on your street and you're exposed for being engaged in group stalking. You're group stalking on your property. You're begging for a prosecution. License 0377282. License 6WJD863. License, I read that one. 36859J2. That's a commercial vehicle parked at a third-party facilitating venue nonetheless. 8UCU438. License plate. 6EHT962. 6JZD417, 6JYA200, 7YHY493, 7JCA038, 7UKG867, 9JWF947 at 2057. Let me get this address. 2057 RAELYN Place, 2057 RAELYN Place in West Covina, California. Because the second license plate is not visible, the facilitating venue is 2057 RAELYN Place. License 8YI. Let me get a screenshot of that. All right, license plate 8YIS 811, 6KYP005, 5MDC625, 6UYTO93, 4W82028. All of these people were group stalking me together while the entity terrorizes you, targets you, engages in harassing you as an entity. Remember, it's not ordinary harassment, and it's not referred to as just harassment. It's not referred to as just terrorism. This is group stalking. Everything that is done is occurring as an entity. This is terrorism as an entity. They were all engaged in that corporately, conveniently all in their homes and pacing all around me in their vehicles via traffic on the roads and the highways, when the demons of the West Covina Police Department, who are going to be dealt with, and so is the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, they're going to be dealt with. I'm getting all these demons that live in relevant position and think that they still have the convenience and the ability to hide away by where you live. I will hunt you down and expose your address, because the ordinary target individual does not have to document like this. You don't have to do that. This is establishing the foundation, and I'm also making an example out of an entity that is a bunch of sex offenders that need to be known for what they are. License 8YCV555, license 5FVX761, 5UAE147, license 8DNT432, MRGRN19, 6HRM880, license 9CVR644, license, I think I read that one already. 8P25538. 6U54949. That sounds familiar. And it's currently 8:35 a.m. 7JCA038. Alrighty. Yeah, that was RAELYN and DORE Street. I'm back at DORE Street, DORE Street. They were all engaged in monitoring me together, using their property to engage in crossing a path, light activity creation. All right, this is an enthusiastic demon that is begging to be prosecuted. In other words, that's the mental illness. No sane person would openly participate in federal group stalking and monitoring. At 2048 Grandview Lane, license plate 8DGD086 with this demon crossing path, license 8WKJ729, impossible light activity while this demon crosses path in a black Jeep. Group stalking with the demons, using their place of residence to group. And you will see the fake sun directly over me at what is 2048 Grandview Lane. They are stalking in the path with their garage open and the headlights on their vehicles on. Those are demons that stalk in the path. That's the pattern of conduct, stalking in your path with a method of light. Under the fake sun at nightfall, where the equally engineered environment remains perpendicular shadows, it's significant as they remain present around you in your path with a method of light activity. This ominous and psychotic and sexually perverted manner, they always want to molest you with what is not headlights. Their headlights are not what's that powerful light. Those are demons stalking in the path with engineered light. In the same way that you see them draw a crossing path, driving by me, in other words, and engineered light moves all across the building, that's what's happening at nightfall. These are demons that are using where you live. Okay, that's literally, the prosecution is meeting you where you live. This could not get more personal and detailed with regard to the prosecution of the entity. License 9AME303. License LARRA. License 6SCG416. 5XXM 409, excuse me. I just want to see if I've documented. I'm at Edenview and Grandview Lane. Yeah. And it is currently 8:37 a.m. Of course, there are far more. I could do this all day. This is, yeah, and I literally got Derek Court. The Google Maps, I took a screenshot of the zone of relevant positioning, and this is the immediate environment. The entity is, group stalking, and is doing so, at a far beyond what my literally, as the phone screen is only so large, and so can only capture so many streets on Google Maps, and the zone of relevant positioning extends beyond that. And I want to be clear, group stalking is an extensive crime, and it is more than just even that zone of relevant positioning. I am speaking to a way in which to prosecute. And the documentation is establishing a case of prosecuting the entire state of California. That's what it's showing. When I'm referencing zone of relevant positioning, it's literally, let me get these third parties. 9KRH930, 9ETU103, 7PNU631, 9NLX946, 5MLJ155, 6LLL211, JILL Heart U.S. 5FKS 088. I figured these are way too many license plates that I did not get. Let me document these. WE Heart JILL 745XGU 5HBJ 745 5ZOK 000 7XWE 244 8BMD 651. They're all monitoring a possible light activity, again, while nobody is driving by me, but yet it's moving inside of my car. And so you'll see in the video that I captured the fake sun while I'm in West Covina, California, and nowhere near the back portion of my Hesperia hotel room at the Courtyard by Marriott, where there's any sun that would be in any position to be seen through perfect alignment with me. Not only the fact that it's seen in West Covina, it's clearly on the back portion of the Courtyard by Marriott Hotel. It's very exclusive. All right. But I'm capturing it through my rear shield window. And you can see engineer light that's just manifesting on the roof of my car on the inside. That's what's happening while I'm driving by all of these vehicles, and possible light activities just cycling inside of my car. They're all monitoring me while I'm driving by their homes. They are indeed group stalkers. These are indeed the demon possessed. License 9ESR220, 7XWE244, 4VZZ063. 4UNU548, 7PFN183, license 7VOV164, DL06J72, that's a paper plate, 8PAG619, 9LDD095, 6NYN567, license 5A KJ547, license 6ZRS709, 9KPU047, license 6FUP229, license 7ABV244. I don't know if I read this one. 8AEL437. And yeah, I'm on a dual street and Edenview. License 6UJM970, 6F56624, 9ECV754, 4UBU262, 5SHN888, 6LKS532, 7XXW903, 74456J3, 8XDE375, license 8SDZ429, license 7B63592, License 7B63592. 74456J3. 77617K1. 6BDS833. Alrighty. This demon, license plate 8XOE375, engaged in surveillance, just sitting on the side of the road. And as I get closer to the end of the intersection, driving off, that's the stalking in the path, lying in wait, waiting for me to get to an open space like an intersection to be present for activity creation. All right, and monitoring the whole time. So is everyone else that lives on the street, but monitoring with regard to somebody that's present in the path, monitoring me while this engineer light is cycling inside of my car. It's moving in front of my car while I'm driving on the road. This is all manner of impossible light activity. And this is the same street where the entity was stalking. West Covina police were stalking last night at 10 p.m. on this same street last night while I was driving down. This is the same Amar Road. Okay, it's currently 8:43 a.m. 8GHR912, impossible light activity. 6MYJ284, impossible light activity. 9FWX256. Okay, the city of West Covina. This is the city of sex offenders. LIRA89. These sex offenders are engaged in group stalking. License 8WYK075, license 9BIN016, 4UIV700. Impossible light activity inside of the car is a threat to your life. 7UHJ913, and it's also documentation of ongoing impunity. And this is what the terrorist organizations, West Covina Police, it's grounds of disbanding. They are engaging in this criminal conduct along with the people. They are contributing to the ongoing corruption of society. This is a lawlessness that's occurring in West Covina, California, and you have the same mental illness that's shared by these demons that are calling themselves a police department. And it's the same with Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. A license 9AIH465, 9GUJ389, license 7WGS471, 8WNJ511, 8BPE809, 8EZD384, 9ENP543, license 9LPM349, 5UMG827. License 9BGV685. They're all engaging in what is an ongoing threat to your life. Impossible light activity, which is a threat also, but it's also literally a threat while impossible light activity is shooting inside of your car and you're supposed to be focused on driving. These demons are not even focused on driving. They're focused on stalking. That's what controls when a fake sun and that which isn't even sunlight, it's not bouncing off of your car into my car. You're stalking. License 7KCY997. License 45417Y2. License 973. Hold on, let me get this demon's license plate. License 97531C3. And license, this is the city of West Covina. This is domestic terrorism in the city. License 7KCD747. 8ZDW. Oh, I can't. You can scratch that one. Can't see the rest of it. 6WGV051. P.O.C. 8LJH776 at Mulvaney Street and LYNDA Avenue. Let me show you the fake sun. All right, the fake sun that's over me in West Covina at Mulvaney Street and LYNDA Avenue is a scientific impossibility. It's remaining outside of my hotel room window as one example. As I'm in Hesperia, California, and that is necessarily the case because as I look outside of that same hotel room, that same window facing that same direction, because the building did not up and move anywhere, and neither did my room contort and move to a different position, that fake sun remained stationary outside of my same hotel room window on the same side of the building. Necessarily, this is the case because I can only see outside of that window facing one direction, and at 10:26 in the morning, the fake sun is still there. The fake sun is still outside of that side of the building as I'm capturing it after 12 p.m. The entity is engaged in that manner of what is amplification under a fake sun. The demons and the sex offenders that I'm documenting by address and license plate are engaged in corporate terrorism, corporate sexual violence, corporate stalking, group stalking. All right, license 9MPN272 included, 9NGN861 included, license 7GNB321 included. And anybody that's I'm documenting in this pool of defendants, they're subject to deportation if they're not natural born. 5ZKJ389, 8DNA773. That's why I'm also capturing a large pool of defendants, because deportation is built into the pattern of conduct for federal group stalking and monitoring where you're prosecuted. 7CAU143. Anyone that's not a natural born citizen that's engaged in group stalking that is documented is going to be deported. License 7ZJC877, 8JPX322. License 114YF, that's handicap. License 9MRJ999, 7ZSU685. And it's currently 8:47 a.m. 7TGT373. License 7FZS214. 5WRV476, I believe I read that one already. 9DAL090. It's currently 8:48 a.m. Capturing the fake sun again at the intersection where I'm at. The population is stalking. That's the intentional creation of what is also an abnormal volume of what is traffic. That's a demon that's stalking with a method of audible activity. And demons also exhibit hostility. That's a threat to your life, while stalkers are showing that they're aggressive and hostile towards you, while they're group stalking for the purpose of trying to murder and kidnap you with the government that utilizes helicopters to also communicate a threat to your life, because you're also enforcing your rights. That's the significance of amplified audible activity. The demons communicate a threat while they engage in methods of amplification of audible activity, which is accomplishing criminal monitoring. License TOY4SMP, while it's accomplishing criminal monitoring, especially as you document the people of the state and the state as well. But this is what the entity engages in while it's monitoring your evidence. The entity does it pursuant to an ongoing pattern, which is the ongoing corroborating evidence speaking to what is indeed a pattern. You don't have an ongoing coincidence at that in a specific environment, which is a scientific impossibility, where you have the ongoing hallmark of stalking in helicopters. You have too many patterns going on. This is the pattern of conduct, and this is reasonably construed as a threat to your life, while amplification is a means of communicating a threat, while the demons, the sex offenders who are stalking in order to murder and kidnap you, do so because they're hostile about your documentation. License 9KUB600, DE11C99, that's paper. License plate DGCW837. They're all engaging in terrorism and threatening the life and physical safety of another, while impossible light activity shooting all through my car. 7XWV487 while I'm in operation of this dangerous machine. There's no such thing as a car accident. In California, they're engaging in murder while they're in group stalking American citizens. These demons know what you're doing with regard to every minute movement. They know exactly what it is that you're doing with regard to moving your foot, putting it on the brakes, putting it on the gas. They are engaging in ways of physically harming not only each other, but the targeted individual. It's a murder while federal group stalking and monitoring is underway. All right. It's an unlawful threat to physical harm and threat of physical harm, because they're not pressing the brake as though they didn't see you, as though they feign ignorance or negligence as it would be prosecuted under tort law. It's not negligence. Okay, you're understanding the intent with regard to the specific environment and the pattern of conduct. You're going to be prosecuted as engaging in what is attempted murder, engaging in what is assault and battery with a dangerous machine. Upon group stalking, this is an automatic escalation of federal charges because you're a group stalker. All right, it is currently 8:50 a.m. This is P.O.C. The fake sun that I captured rising in alignment to my vehicle at the same intersection is 8:50 a.m. All I'm doing is driving around. This is the same intersection. I'm on AMAR. The fake sun's not going anywhere. But let's remember the documentation. The evidence is such that the fake sun is over WINWOOD Apartments through my rear windshield window. Let me document something. Merchants is group stalking. License 28232V2. Merchants is stalking in the path with light. Merchants is a commercial actor. Merchants, for example, group stalking, doing landscaping at the Ovid Family Community Library, on the roads and the highways in Ontario, California. They're group stalking here with light activity creation. Any of those employees that are not natural born citizens, they're going to be deported. You don't get to come to this country and engage in the industry of landscaping and engage in terrorism at the same time. You don't get to maintain the privilege to be in this country and remain here while you're engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, even if you are undertaking the task of landscaping in California. You're going to be deported, and that job can go to somebody else that will actually appreciate it and not try to murder and kidnap people with the corrupt government while doing so. Group stalking with the police. All right, that's West Covina Police group stalking on the opposite side of Amar Road at 8:51 a.m. License plate 7BOA478. Merchants again stalking in the path with light activity, and so is Spectrum 9229C72, I believe. Spectrum is a heavily documented group stalker under the fake sun with the LAPD, with the Ontario Police Department. You're talking about a body of evidence. Spectrum is a domestic terrorist making money. That's all they're doing, and engaged in keeping you under surveillance in this country. all right, as an internet provider. They're engaged in federal stalking, and they're keeping you under surveillance with the government. It is currently 8:52 a.m., 8 UOV 517, group stalking with the West Covina Police Department. This is P.O.C. 9 KUH 454. Stalking in the path, terrorizing via impossible light activity. License 5DEJ 190 is crossing path. I'm going to get the specific demons that are terrorizing by impossible light activity while they're group stalking me on the roads and the highways. That it's, again, a terrorist act. That's also a threat to your life and safety while you're driving a dangerous vehicle. License. It's like 7, third party group stalker 7STV 596. While they're gang stalking me on the roads and the highways, a threat to your life. These are mentally ill sex offenders obsessed with your genitalia, increasingly hostile and aggressive as you document them, chasing you down on the roads and the highways, impossible light shooting inside of your car. That sex offender is stalking you in a vehicle and very likely to just ram into your car for no reason whatsoever. And I'm not exaggerating, because they're group stalking you for no reason. They're hostile towards you, hating you for no reason. License 4CRL069, 5RPV744, 9ECV849, and this is the demon terrorizing by impossible light activity 6UQB102. P.O.C. It's currently 8:59 a.m. Alrighty, documenting the fake sun at that intersection where I'm documenting those terrorists surrounding you. Understand, the documentation is also designed to help everyone, including, most importantly, the federal government, appreciate the threat and the level of a threat that an American citizen is faced with when everyone is stalking you. 9BTE138. The entity is at any time, provision of some circumstance where you are subject to being physically harmed. And the demons that are group stalking you are doing so under the malicious guise of trying to falsely depict that target individual who's being harmed, right? Or subject to any manner of harm, such as looking like a collision, a car collision, a car pileup. And you're looking at the demons that say it's like 5 cars and a car pileup, and the target individual is severely injured if they survive it. And you've got a bunch of demons that colluded against that targeted individual, and they're all claiming that it was a horrible accident. This is the type of threat that you're subject to while an entity is group stalking you. At that, they're doing so on the roads and the highways, and it's not an accident. That's my point. It's an attempted murder, if not a murder. These demons are stalking on the roads and the highways, and that's the type of conduct that these demons engage in. And while all the gang stalkers, and nobody knows about group stalking, and no one's going to believe a targeted individual, and the targeted individual may not even know that they're being subject to that pattern of conduct, right? When they lose their life, or when they're subject to serious injuries, and then the entities engage in all manner of harassment. You can't even recover. You can't get any coverage for your the injuries that you suffered, and you were all manner. The entity is monitoring you, and they engage in trying to murder you by a car pileup. That was not an accident. I just want to point that out. There is an unlawful threat that the targeted individual is faced with when you are being gang stalked on the roads and the highways. Even by the presence of the specific environment, you're seeing that fake sun over your head. That's psychologically harmful. It's letting you know that everybody around you, everybody in all the vehicles around you are all stalking you. With the impossible light activity, it's the same exact threat communicated to that targeted individual, especially while they're documenting it. You're going to be prosecuted for that. That threat needs to be appreciated. I cannot articulate it any more clearly. Just giving you a hypothetical, giving you a circumstance of what they are clearly capable of engaging in. They're animalistic. They're warrantless hostility while you expose them. What type of sex offender is mad because you're reporting the fact that you're subject to their sexual violence? What type of sane person is going to be upset about that? The demon possessed. The group stalkers. All right, it's currently 9:03 a.m. This is P.O.C. license 9DSC847. All right, stalking in the path, creating light activity in the street, license 1003115. Group stalking by the demons that call themselves construction workers. They're group stalking Vector Plus, license 104 1409883. VACTOR is group stalking. It's criminal facilitation while they're got their hard hats on, they're digging in the concrete, and they're creating light activity under the fake sun while the people of the state are pacing all around. Their group stalking. That is VACTOR, VACTOR, a commercial actor. That's P.O.C, criminal facilitation. Those people wearing those hard hats are going to find themselves in federal prison. They help the government engage in criminal surveillance. That's a very heavily used method of criminal surveillance light activity, signage, construction, whatever it is with regard to activity creation while they block off streets, heavy use on your brakes, light activity, getting into realigning yourself in the lanes, light activity with your turn signals, the flashing lights on their vehicles and any signage that they put, light activity, all of it's under the fake sun and engineered light. In concert with the state. The state's just sitting around in their police vehicles, in the helicopters, they're engaged in surveillance. This is how the P.O.C works. That's another iteration of the same P.O.C. It's currently 9:07 a.m. All right, it's currently 9:13 a.m. License 8ENS 318 6ZBR 409. This is the people of the state at third party facilitating venue 1302. Let me get this address. Crossing path license 9DVC 071. License 6LB M328. Am I still on? Yes, it's 1310. License 7RZY789. The third-party facilitating venue, 1310 East Fairgrove Avenue in West Covina, California. In relevant position, monitoring me all night long with the entity that's engaging in terrorism, stalking on the roads and the highways. License 6X17674. Excuse me. The last two digits are 74. License 7ZAK812, license 7RZZ959, license 7GHN405, 7SBP 957, license 6JQJ704, license 668FEF, that's Oregon, license 3BGY717, 8JMC233, 9NZA950, 9JEF954. 24712C3. License 4KMC 130. License 8WJB 785. Paper plate CW53M66. That's a paper plate on a white Tesla. That's a female driving that. License 7SVW 836. 9MCW 878. DO31S1 6F46485. They are indeed group stalking. License T747GO. Woodgrove Park in West Covina. Group stalkers sitting in the path. Fake sun is remaining over me as I'm going past this park. This is the specific environment. There are a bunch of group stalkers in West Covina. License 7YAB 755. License 6RTS 236, 6KKE 440, 8A68907, 6BBD 973. License 6DEH 285, 7CYZ 327, paper plate NY-745-341, and it says October 2nd, 2024. That's on a white Chevy Silverado pickup truck. License 6ABN 095. And I am at 1324 Parkside Drive. Alrighty, documenting the people of the state in relevant position, just engaging in the convenience of group stalking where they live, terrorism where they live, sexual violence where you live, All right, license 7XUF 518, BLKTOIS 7LIE 777, paper plate BL16P42. License 6FUM 723, 7TGF 634, 7ZJT 929, 7MQF 249, 7EKS 343, 7RVA 383. License 91762Z2, 3UHP 367, 8ZRK 350, 9AIN 306, 7YNL 610. License 9GXL 900, WAA 3CP, that's Arizona, 9DDW 561, 8HHD 421, 9JWK 906, 6JGL 498, 25721F3, 7MLG 898, 8PWU 553, 8EDC 940, 7VSY 999, it's 9:18 a.m. Trying to find the address over here, but let me see. This is appears to be like an apartment style community right here that I just documented a vast amount of here we go. Here's the front end, which would be 1349 Parkside Drive, and $1353 Parkside Drive. Want to make sure I'm still recording. Yes, you can hear me. Let me take a screenshot of this. This is the location where I'm at, documenting the people of the state by license plates. It's currently 9:20 a.m. This is all relevant positioning to where I'm at. The entity is one ongoing perpetual stalker. Everywhere that you're going, the entity is engaging in tag team corporate stalking, gang stalking, okay? The population is always present. And they are engaging in they're all connected together. So while you're living around the block, you're gang stalking while the demons are stalking, maintaining presence on the via traffic. Okay, so they're all group stalking together. So that's what I'm capturing while I go around and get everybody's license plate, because they're all engaged in an ongoing crime. It's not based on what time a particular third party or state actor within the entity is crossing paths. They're all the same actor. Okay, it's the entity. License 9GSW035, 9DEB 439, license 6NDF 837, 8MAC 614, 7R93526, 32379H2, 5XRN 942, 6CCG 900, 8PFE 674, 7VND 338, 8GWB 529, 8HLZ 273. Oh, let me just drive on through here. XKR 455, 6KDW 327, 7ZSW 720, 7PAF 194, 78E LQY Florida, 8YMC 814. License 5GTP438, 8KEV 381. This is Texas, MDT 6764, 3NAP 830, 9FYB 455, 8EYX 527, 5BAK 943, 7WUS 305, 8PWG 938, 8VKU 572, 8URF598, 9DSC278, 9HUW472, 6YAW382, 3RVX610, 7XVG433, 5UMM683, 9EBE333, 4KJV607, 9HBD539, 30146U3, 4PIE693, 6WGH666, 7UHL043, 6WCJ851, 41129K1, 7JCV528, and it is currently 9:23 a.m. I'm at Fairgrove Avenue and Evening Side Drive. License 78PP955. License plate 8RNV600. License plate 8SDZ432. It's currently 9:24 a.m. All right, this is video evidence of the fake sun being in the same position on the same street. I was parked right over here. The fake sun was in my rear windshield window, out of this window, while I was parked right over here at 7:50 in the morning, and it's in the same position. It's currently 9:24 a.m. This is non-movement of, again, in the natural environment, the sun would not be caught at the same location. And the way that I'm able to capture this is all you do is return to the same location where you're being pursued with a light source that's not within a natural environment, because the sun is not maintaining ubiquitous presence over everyone, everywhere, including 3 hours ahead on the East Coast. This is not over East Coast. This isn't in Florida. This isn't in New York. This is not in Maine and Vermont. This is not over Texas. It's remained over me over the same WINWOOD apartments where the people of the state are group stalking. 6PER495. And when you're driving by, engineer light doesn't move across 8DCW763, but for when group stalking is underway. All right, P.O.C. license 8EHM131. West Covina is a group stalker. They're a city full of sex offenders. This is mental illness that is rampant. 8UPF814, 5SDN081, license 9LHU472, 8CCP302, 9HRH393, license 9CB, I can't really see that one. You can scratch that one. License, hold on. 8HVX or HXV, 551. This is the WINWOOD apartments right here, and this is the fake sun that's advancing as I advance, and it's in the same position where it was at 7:50. You're talking about within an hour, the sun is movement, and you're looking at the West Covina police who are group stalking, and that's what they were doing by helicopter. This is federal prison right here. Just want to document everybody that I just documented. We're pacing. This is called criminal summoning. The entity is keeping the fake sun over the Hesperia's courtyard by Marriott. This is P.O.C. This is a terror story. Impossible light moving behind that demon. License 3009075 and 8MYA673. Group stalking together under the fake sun. And there was impossible light activity moving behind that demon that's wearing a badge representing the West Covina Police Department. That's called criminal summoning. You've seen the entity engaging in that iteration of the P.O.C. under a light source that is nowhere near Ontario, California, over the Woodside Senior Apartments. That's what I'm documenting outside of Tracy Banks's door. This is not over that apartment complex. Nor is sunlight that which is ricocheting off of a vehicle while you're driving by, and engineer light is appearing. That is a demon, a part of the corrupted West Covina Police Department, and they engage in terrorism and harassment, stalking, group stalking with the people, and criminally facilitating group stalking with the people. License 8SPE806, and they are desperately engaging in that because they don't want the people of the state to go to federal prison. They're going. Every license plate that I just documented in this video is going to federal prison. The entity does that, engages in that criminal conduct because trying to be a distraction from the people, and it's not. It incriminates the people. This is a demon. This is a third party, and you're group stalking with the police. You go to federal prison in California for doing that. You go to anywhere in this country for engaging in that. This is what they're doing all night long in concert with the state. That's stalking by helicopter. They all know where it is that I'm sleeping. They know what it is that I'm doing as I do it, while they're stalking day and night with engineer light inside of my vehicle while they're crossing paths, just like they did right now in concert with the West Covina Police Department. License plate 7TAW569. This is P.O.C. It's currently 9:27 a.m. All right, to be included in this podcast is the video that I just captured. It's 9:28 a.m. And what the West Covina police are engaging in is criminal presence in the path, and a stalker wanting to appear as though engaging in something that looks legitimate, such as a traffic stop, is actually group stalking me while I'm in the residential area on the streets capturing license plates. West Covina police are in alignment to me, group stalking with a method of light activity. They're exhibiting demon possession. The fake sun is moving over me, remaining over me as I documented, and the state is monitoring in concert with those demons. Every license plate that I documented is group stalking, and the state knows exactly what it is that I'm doing. That iteration of the pattern of conduct, criminal summoning, which is on video, it's capturing the fake sun over the same exact location where I captured at 7:50 in the morning. And it's also the malicious engagement and federal group stalking and monitoring by, again, a corrupt state actor. This is a demon-infected agency that uses helicopters to threaten the life of American citizen while they're seeking to murder and kidnap that American citizen that they're group stalking. And they are in that position under the fake sun amongst engineered light, while I am in alignment to where they are intentionally positioned with the people of the state. Who are they pulling over? The demons who are group stalking. The entity is fully exposed with regard to the pattern of conduct. I'm giving context regarding what that demon was doing, that demon that represents a corrupt agency, the demon that's sitting over the position of the West Covina police. I'm going to name that demon in a moment, but understand their physical position where that demon is at on AMAR is in alignment to where I'm inside of the housing community, and I'm documenting those demons by address and by license plate. West Covina police is engaged in group stalking with the people of the state, and they're encouraging criminal activity. That's what I'm capturing on video. You'll hear it on the podcast. I'm going to convert it into audio, but literally the positioning, you're going to look at Google Maps. You're going to understand what is relevant positioning with regard to where I'm located and the strategic placement of light and presence in the path in concert with the people under the fake sun. License 9GNM996. That's a sex offender, and that's a demon-possessed person. Impossible light is moving across the Jongtong Tofu house. 7VJS970. Same conduct. 9HFX828. West Covina is filled with the demon-possessed. This is domestic terrorism. It's going to be prosecuted in California. These are sex offenders, and they currently have access to children, custody over children, resources with regard to driving school buses, like the Hacienda School District. That's a sex offender. They like to have sex with children. They penetrate children. They molest children. They traffic children. They rape men and women that don't give consent. All right. They practice sexual violence. It's inherent to the pattern of conduct. They're group stalking in West Covina, including the demon-possessed West Covina Police Department. License 8SPE 806 15727K1. This is P.O.C. It's currently 9:30 a.m. All right, one note with regard to the demon that is currently in position that he is unfit and disqualified to remain in, while the criminal activity of the police agency under his corrupt and dangerous authority is engaged in group stalking. That's criminal conduct that's happening on your watch of a particular nature. It's a very unique criminal system. It's demonic. It's intended to psychologically torture and terrorize in order to murder and kidnap, and without you being recognized as the one that's engaging in that crime. That's called malice, that the West Covina Police Department are exhibiting while they're group stalking under the tutelage, under the corrupt leadership of this demon. His name is Richard Bell. He is this is an African-American closeted sex offender. All right. This is a closeted psychopath. This is a terrorist leader and not a chief of police. And neither will he or anybody else affiliated with the corrupt, demon-infected West Covina Police Department, who is group stalking. They're a bunch of gang stalkers. Those are gang members. They're not law enforcement officials. Those are gang members. And they are encouraging criminal activity amongst the demons who are in the city of West Covina. All right, this witch coven is engaged in the federal group stalking and monitoring. All right, it is currently 9:32 a.m. That is, again, Richard Bell, that you are witnessing the criminal conduct under the watch of Richard Bell, who is also a group stalker, who is engaging in facilitating group stalking in this city, and who is disqualified and who is to be plucked out of the position that he holds. And it is a danger to the city of West Covina, while these demons are encouraged to continue this criminal conduct in concert with the corrupt police department, a terrorist organization, as they are properly referred to as. You will not be addressed and given any sense of nobility, even improperly, by being referred to as a law enforcement agency. They are referred to under the umbrella of federal group stalking and monitoring, they are referred to as terrorist organizations. Do not forget that. This is P.O.C. 8YWV705. And by the way, San Antonio College in West Covina, or actually Pomona. This is the community college. They're a group stalker. They're group stalking with the students. That is the professors. They're all group stalking. License 5PXH387 while the demons are driving onto the campus, and they call themselves getting certification, getting degrees. They're a bunch of demons getting prepared to go into a corrupt workforce where all of the state is engaged in group stalking in whatever fields that they go to. This is a corrupt institution. It's your community college that is group stalking. And impossible light activity while the demons go to that school and they're group stalking me en route to their classes, en route to wherever it is that they're doing at the campus. 8XZU 061, I believe. I can't really see that one. You can scratch that. 8LPE 633, however, is group stalking. 6SIH 908. 2ZEY 903. The demons are pacing, driving on and off of Mount San Antonio College, which is a group stalker. That's a corrupt institution, which is the state, by the way, of all of the institutions in California. If you have not understood where I'm going with regard to the pattern of conduct and the greater implications regarding where there are no exceptions whatsoever. Why are they all corrupt? Because they're all engaged in this criminal system while they are simultaneously working in any industry or engaging in any training of those that go out and work in the in various fields in the state of California. They're simultaneously group stalking. However elite you think that institution is, these are the superficial titles that you ought not be impressed by, because they serve Satan, and this satanic system is underway at that so-called elite institution that pumps out some of the best professionals that go out into they're a bunch of demons. They're group stalkers. It's currently 9:40 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, West Air, license 4NR5691 is group stalking. I took pictures of the logo. This is a commercial means of federal group stalking and monitoring. It's also a corrupt business that's engaged in federal stalking. You can see the fake sun over me in Pomona at campus and Temple, while this third party in a commercial vehicle is engaged in the same exact statewide criminal system, representing a business in doing so. License 8CVL451. 9KJM419, 8PXM708, 9HRL848, 8FFK965, 9DMU500. In case you are impressed with the institution Cal Poly Pomona, you need to know that that's something you ought to change. The things that impress you in this world. There are a bunch of demon-possessed group stalkers, both the police that are on the campus. Those are terrorist leaders that are masquerading as law enforcement in the state that's engaged in a statewide criminal surveillance system, while they are simultaneously maintaining a corrupt institution that pumps out corrupt individuals that are armed with certifications and degrees, preparing them or qualifying them to go into a corrupt workforce where this ongoing public corruption is underway in the state of California. There is nothing impressive, in other words, about Cal Poly Pomona, aside from what Satan itself esteems itself as, Cal Poly Pomona, with regard to this institution being compared to any other institution, and they're both group stalkers. Okay, the big picture is that there's nothing impressive about Cal Poly Pomona. They're group stalking right now. Got a bunch of demons teaching the demons that are sitting in their classes, both the so-called professors and those that are sitting there seeking an education from that corrupt institution. That is reflecting, by the way, what's going right out into the workforce. All right, what's going right out into the tech field. I believe Cal Poly Pomona is a leader with regard to science and biology, that sort of technology, all of that. That's speaking to what's going on into the industry. When the institution itself is engaged in the criminal conduct, encouraging that, this is what is, again, poisoning the public. This is, I'm just speaking to some of these are the major issues regarding massive public corruption. And it's demonic. It's demonic. So it's 9:45 a.m. This is POC. It's a problem when you're sitting and you want to esteem yourself as being elite or impressive or better than some other institution, or you're better than another student because you went to a different institution. When you are engaged in things such the degenerate conduct such as stalking somebody in a bathroom, but you're being judged on paper as being better than another professional that's trained in the same manner, and perhaps they didn't go to a same caliber of school. I'm just giving you a real life hypothetical regarding the type of superficial things that demons rely on, by the way, to get ahead in this corrupt and false society that Satan rules over. All right, it's currently 9:45 a.m. This is P.O.C. Oh, by the way, I'm still at the Starbucks where Pomona police were stalking in helicopters. So Starbucks is already documented as of 2018. They're gang stalking now under the fake sun that's over the Starbucks. And this is already established. The entity was stalking in helicopter. They're, like I said, this is the short-sighted mindset of the entity. Everyone is group stalking, and so is Starbucks. So this is, again, terrorism. A bunch of demons are stalking your every move while they're looking to the left and the right. Like that's psychotic, and no one is persuaded by that. They're all group stalking, and so is Starbucks, like I documented last night. License plate 8NXP 490. Group stalking by the drive-thru as well. The same demon that I documented engaged in criminal summoning, license 6AGZ179. This is likely an employee that's engaged in group stalking at Starbucks. In case you did not know, Starbucks hires demons, and Starbucks customers are demons. And they're engaged in the criminal system together. It's the picture of malice, and it is public corruption. All right, indicative of what's going on in this country, where you've got a company like Starbucks. Yeah, it's a group stalker. That's what's going on in this country. It's 9:47 a.m. Alrighty, this is impossible light activity. It's not even the sun that's outside. And when you open the door, impossible light activity outside. And this is what happened on the inside. When I walked in before, that impossible light activity that you saw outside happened on the inside. Now it's not happening on the inside. And as I walk out, the impossible light activity of swiping while the pattern of the glass, swiping across the sidewalk, everybody inside is group stalking, okay? This is a sex offender wearing a suit, okay? That's a sex offender monitoring my genitalia while I'm in the bathroom. This is not natural light activity. This is criminal facilitation. This is called alignment with the bathroom. This is what a sex offender is doing. While impossible light activity is appearing stationary on the inside, and it's dynamic as you open up a door for massive criminal monitoring. This is P.O.C. This is stationary impossible light activity on the sidewalk. That's not the occurrence of naturally occurring light and just manifesting in the shade. This is a stalker lying in wait, crossing path, impossible light across the back of this vehicle. They're both group stalking. 9JHM 735. This is so sad. This is a population full of sex offenders and stalkers. License 9DFH935. Monitoring my genitalia in the bathroom. Starbucks is a sex offender. Starbucks is engaged in and facilitates and encourages criminal conduct of a sexual nature as well. By virtue of the facilitation of demonic light activity. When I walked in, what you saw on the outside occurred on the inside. As I walk out, that light activity occurs outside. It's never occurring naturally under any circumstances. And this also isn't the sun. It's currently 9:54 a.m. The entity is keeping the fake sun, for example, over the Woodside Senior Apartments. Over outside of my hotel room window in Hesperia at 10:26 in the morning, I captured the light source that's still outside of that hotel room window. It didn't move anywhere. That was the significance of capturing that video while I stayed in Hesperia at that hotel at Courtyard by Marriott. This is not the sun, not the natural environment, in other words, and that is not sunlight. Neither is this. That's the intent, to be in the environment. Nothing is natural or ongoing, occurring with regard to a coincidence, not coincidentally driving by, not coincidentally driving out of the drive-thru, not coincidentally making any noises while my panties are down in the bathroom, not coincidentally sending in alignment to the bathroom under a fake sun amongst engineer light that's occurring on the inside and then occurring outside. And it's never occurring naturally under any circumstances. Okay? These are sex offenders. This is a sex offender outside of the bathroom monitoring someone. Relevant positioning is what you're paying attention to. All right? This is the same thing, monitoring in a bathroom. And these are demons also. P.O.C. Males and females. Walking in the engineer light, this demon is accomplishing monitoring by just moving around. All right? And this is what Starbucks is making money off of. All right, I'm going to prosecute these sex offenders. They just engage in the perpetual sex offense. Monitoring my genitalia, which again, the people of the state are obsessed with that. And they're going to be prosecuted and exposed as the sex offenders that they are while being obsessed with the genitalia of the one whom they're group stalking. All right. And they like to engage in group stalking. They don't want to stop engaging in group stalking. And they get hostile and aggressive when you tell the fact that they're obsessed with my genitalia and the fact that they're group stalking. License plate 8NXP 490. This is P.O.C. All right, bathroom monitoring, license plate 6ROS839. These are sex offenders group stalking under the fake sign. I just captured video. And I captured video. What's in that video is also impossible light activity. It is entirely demonic. Demonic light that is not naturally occurring, light that is a scientific impossibility with regard to how it can occur. And the way I'm capturing it clearly on video, 47409A4, a sex offender from the corrupt institution Cal Poly Pomona, which educates sex offenders. Okay, bathroom monitoring. License plate, the same. A demon. Caucasian male, obsessed with my genitalia, by the way. 8ZQV831. License 9BTM643. That Caucasian male that's obsessed with my genitalia, that's an admission while you hear amplified audible activity because that demon doesn't like his secrets being exposed, okay? That amplification, that simultaneity of conduct after I make that explosive statement, these are demons reacting in real time while I tell their secrets that they like to obsess and stalk this genitalia. They like mine. They like to monitor it. And I'm going to make sure everybody knows it while I prosecute them as the sex offenders that they are. Okay, license 7WVF763, 6XBK389, 8PTG070, 6JKX451, 9ATA694, 8VPK735. And this is the sex offender engaged in criminal summoning. The Pomona police, in other words, are also obsessed with my genitalia, because that's what they're doing with the people who are surrounding under a fake sun and engineered light and stalking with methods of amplified audible activity, which a sex offender does to also communicate a threat because you're reporting the fact that they're sexually violating you. That is speaking to the mental illness of the sex offenders who are group stalkers. License 21080K3. They're all engaged in bathroom monitoring. License 8GWW129, 47409A4 is group stalking by sitting in the drive-thru of Starbucks. License 8PTG070, 8GGU418, 9LXE960. Amplified audible activity amongst engineer light. These demons are pacing around. 9CGY123. Those are the demons on Temple monitoring me as well. Bathroom monitoring by a whole population. The city of West Covina, the city of Pomona, sex offenders and group stalkers. 8NPV649, 9DFH935, 8TGJ546. And they will be prosecuted as the sex offenders that they are. All right? Because this is, in fact, what an entity that is group stalking you is doing, and that's what they're consumed with. Your genitalia. All right? Your personal private moments in a bathroom. And they're all sharing in that knowledge together. And they are deriving gratification from it. License, I read that one. These are the ones that engage in penetrating children, sex trafficking children, targeting, sexually molesting, and violating people that cannot defend themselves. Those are the group stalkers that are engaging in bathroom monitoring. 8KGK522 is included group stalking through the Starbucks drive-thru. License 70185G2. This is P.O.C. Possible light activity, simultaneous facilitation while demons walk in and out of Starbucks. I captured that on video. They're monitoring while I'm in the bathroom. The demons are walking in and out of the building because they're monitoring someone with their panties down. Understand what their focus is in the specific environment while they want to outwardly maintain a posture as though they're doing something else. Everything that they're doing is accomplishing monitoring elements. And they're doing also specifically to monitor your genitalia. Ooh, she's in the bathroom. Let's go in. Let's pace all around. That's P.O.C. License 9JLR598. 9KPH097, 1MITHRL. These are all sex offenders monitoring my genitalia. They engaged in bathroom monitoring, corporate monitoring, a perpetual sex offense. What you're doing in a bathroom when your panties are down, when you're physically indisposed, when you're engaged in any personal private activity, it's public information. License 8YR8440, 8PGG639. P.O.C. And Starbucks at 3423 Temple in Pomona, which you already know because the entity was stalking by helicopter. Like I said, when the entity engages in criminal conduct and is very short-sighted, it's already, well, clearly you're group stalking. Yeah, they are. And that's why I'm able to capture the fake sun as well. Nobody forgot about the fact that they're stalking by plane and helicopter. And they're also engaging in sexual violence monitoring also while you're in a bathroom. That's a police department that's going to be prosecuted as sex offenders. You're disqualified from law enforcement. That's a police department that's engaged in what is group stalking criminal conduct of a sexual nature, a predatory purpose. For what? Because you engage in sexual violence as a way of life. All right. Those are psychopaths that are also hostile to that being known amongst the public. You're disqualified from law enforcement. So while the entity provides a wealth of documentation that they like to engage in group stalking in helicopters, you're also exposed as a sex offender. The pattern of conduct is establishing the fact that all of their secrets are coming out at the same time, okay? And it's currently 10 a.m. The entity's keeping the fake sun over Starbucks. Remember, the entity's keeping the fake sun over me in Hesperia at 1026 outside of my hotel room window, the same location where it was at 749. This demon, 9JLR598, crossing path, engineer light over the black asphalt, as though sunlight is ricocheting off of that red Tesla onto the ground and also shooting at a distance onto the brick wall. That is indeed a demon coming from the third-party facilitating venue Starbucks drive-through, where they're engaged in group stalking while Starbucks is profiting off of sexual violence and profiting off of criminal surveillance that's intended to result in your murder and kidnap. All right, this is great, egregious sexual violence, and it's sexual perversion. The predatory nature of group stalking needs to be known and understood, appreciated under federal law. All right, it's an unfathomable level of violence and a violation by an entity. All right, it is currently 10:01 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, the facilitating venue is engaged in bathroom monitoring along with Starbucks and the third parties whose license plate I just documented. Remember, it's beyond that. The state is group stalking you in a bathroom, and so is the population that's literally driving around on Temple, on Pomona Boulevard. That's how massive your invasion is, your privacy is being invaded by a population that's group stalking you. All right, and they want to murder and kidnap you and never speak of the sexual violence that you've also been subject to. This is the understanding, appreciating the level of violation that an American citizen is subject to. And they never live to tell about it, or they never are in a position where they can tell about it, that anyone will even listen to them, because the entity intends to discard them from society. License 8KSP854. Bathroom monitoring. While I'm speaking to this demon inside of Jinsa Teriyaki, these demons that are driving on Pomona, crossing path and impossible light activity, moving all across inside of that restaurant and across this demon's face as I ask her a question about her menu. All right, she's group stalking me, and she was also group stalking me while I was in the bathroom. License 9JAV631. Driving outside in the parking lot does not result in sunlight moving across inside of these restaurants, but the reason why it's occurring is because they're all group stalking and they're all demons, and they know who I am. Okay, license 5FPE570, 8NXL860, 6PDG756, 8FBM211, 9NEZ820, 9MKL682, 7YZR027, 8YTZ194, 5XNP670. The group stalkers across the street on Pomona, Pure Tech Company Incorporated at 3410 Pomona Drive in Pomona, California at 3406. There's another venue over here. I believe it's 3406, either Temple or 3406 Pomona Avenue in Pomona. These are facilitating venues. My going to the bathroom, my genitalia, everything that just happened in the bathroom in Starbucks is a matter of public information amongst all these demons. It is massive regarding the sex offense that the entity engages in. In addition to the fact that they're all engaged in federal stalking, and they all together know what I'm documenting as I document it. There is a fully exposed mental illness by an entity that wouldn't even engage in that, and then also exhibits hostility while you expose it. They are mentally ill. They're demon possessed, but understand the way that you could address that in the secular. It's a level of mental illness, and an extraordinary, or severe level of mental illness, based on the level of malice, the absence of any. Not that it's okay, it's not okay at all. It's evil. It's demonic. This is wicked. But there is no logical reason. You're not talking about exacting revenge on someone that harmed. They don't know me personally. They know me spiritually. These are demons, and Satan is using the entity, the state of California. In other words, Satan has a lot of power. Satan is using the entire state of California, as I've exposed. There is no exception to the pattern of conduct, and absolute strangers in the middle of San Diego, where I've never been, are group stalking me. White women, black women, Caucasian women, Asian women, and men. Okay, it doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter what race or age, and clearly no income bracket. License 9CAU157. All of them are interested in and obsessed with my genitalia. They're group stalking at all times, at all places, and they do so as a society. The entire state of California is going to be prosecuted as a sex offender. 8EUK178, 9BEE112. All right, and Starbucks is also going to be prosecuted civilly. You're going to drain the pockets because Starbucks makes millions and millions of dollars while the group stalkers line up in their drive-thru, going in and out of their venue while they're group stalking with Starbucks, who's making a buck, conspiring to murder and kidnap me. Okay, the drive-thru is getting very, very full. They're group stalking. All right, and that's also, as you're analyzing the threat, 5SIJ220. All they're doing is group stalking you while they're making a purchase at a facilitating venue. Remember that. All they're doing is group stalking you while they're making a purchase at the facilitating venue. You're not doing anything other than gang stalking at the facilitating venue where you're making a purchase under the fake sun. You're group stalking. P.O.C. All right, what you will see in the images, it's 10:10 a.m. As I pick up my phone, this is the same time where a demon's drink has been prepared by the demon that's a barista at the venue. The time that they are their drinks are prepared, which is speaking to the ability to simultaneously stalk with activity while appearing maliciously as the ordinary conduct that you would expect. Your drink is ready, so you get up. They're doing so pursuant to what I do as I do it. And you will also see double shadows as this demon walks. This is the female with the blonde hair. She's group stalking. You'll see two shadows as she walks by. One shadow, as she continues walking, another shadow paces on the wall. And she got up to get her drink that the demon working at the venue simultaneously alerted her by, and she simultaneously gets up. This is as I pick up my phone to operate it. This is demonic activity, and this is the malicious engagement in the pattern of conduct amongst the corrupt companies who are organizing, facilitating this demonic system while making money, okay? And you need to understand that with regard to their condition, they're all demons. This is a demon-filled society, okay? Impossible Light moving inside of the venue, and this is, again, a bunch of psychopaths who are passive-aggressive. As I document, the more spectacular the Impossible Light activity gets. That's federal prison. So while they're having a good time, there are plenty of baristas who are going to federal prison, by the way, group stalking with the Ontario police, group stalking with the Pomona police, group stalking with the Montclair police. Plenty of them working at Starbucks are going to federal prison. There's no statute of limitations, and their criminal conduct is documented on the record, and they're exhibiting the same exact malice and impunity here in Pomona with the demons that are in the drive-thru, whose license plate I already documented, okay? And that's why they're in the drive-thru, by the way, because they're monitoring. It is currently 10:12 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, 10:14 a.m. with simultaneity to this demon driving out. Let me get this license plate, because as they drive out of the drive-thru, Impossible Light activity shoots across the roof inside of the Starbucks. License plate 02120X1. All right, and that's audible activity monitoring me. And those are the demons that are group stalking inside of the Starbucks. As they drive out of the drive-thru, Impossible Light activity extends inside of the Starbucks, swiping across the ceiling. You've seen Impossible Light activity on my ceiling inside of my bedroom at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles. You've seen the Impossible Light activity while the demons are crossing path, pacing in Monrovia, at the Town Place Suites by Marriott, while I'm in the hallway, and those demons are crossing path in traffic, and Impossible Light activity while I'm on the third floor of that hotel in the hallway, and all the engineered light that's paneling across the ceiling. You've seen this already. You've seen the Impossible Light activity swiping across the surfaces, the walls, while they're driving by. That's what they're doing inside. That is the employees who are group stalking and the patrons, just like you see in the video. But I want to document 10:14 a.m. like clockwork. The demons that I stated are in the drive-thru to engage in criminal conduct, which Starbucks is going to be civilly and criminally prosecuted for. Again, this is the Starbucks that's located at, let me get it. All right, this is 3423 Pomona Boulevard in Pomona, California, where the same exact pattern of conduct is underway. The entity kept the fake sun over me at 10:26 in the morning when I'm in Hesperia inside of my hotel room, 310. And I'm facing out of that hotel room window. The fake sun is remaining over Starbucks. That's not the natural environment. That's speaking to intent, by the way. And so is the Impossible Light activity inside of Starbucks, and also the Impossible Light activity that's occurring, which is terrorism via directed light, while the demons that are group stalking with Starbucks are crossing path out of their drive-thru, engaging in a transaction. This is unlawful profiting while you're conspiring toward the murder and kidnapping of an American citizen. You're engaged in federal stalking, so you also know that you're being documented, and you continue to do so with impunity. Every single last one of these demons that are acting in a role of a barista while I'm documenting this specific environment, and they're engaged in federal stalking. That's the basis of federal prison. I just want to point that out. But the entity is engaging in this Impossible Light activity while every demon drives out of the drive-thru. All right, and this is the sex offenders that we're monitoring while my panties are down. They're monitoring my genitalia, and they're preparing cafes and lattes and mochachinos, okay, wearing the Starbucks logos. That's what Starbucks is. That's what Starbucks is about. That's why Starbucks is engaging in it with the demons that shop at Starbucks, the people of the state. All right, it's 10:17 a.m. This is P.O.C. All All right, repeating terrorism via directed light at 10:18 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and document this because this is relevant to impunity and the people of the state that are the gross sex offenders that I captured by license plate and by venue. This is the entity that is group stalking. It is currently 10:18 a.m. Like clockwork, you have the demons making their purchases, driving out of the drive-thru, Impossible Light swipes through. They also do so because these are demons that are sex offenders and they're fearful of what's being exposed about them, but they also, again, these are psychopaths, and psychopaths tend to engage in committing more murders as opposed to ceasing to murdering people because that is the rationale of the mentally ill, and that's what they're doing, okay? So they know that I'm publishing, I'm on the internet, and they engage in more terrorism, which they're gonna be punished for, all right? It's 10:19 a.m., this is P.O.C. Alrighty, it is currently 11:13 a.m. As I am processing the podcast, preparing to publish it, the demons that work at this Starbucks, and I'm exposing demons that work for the corrupt company Starbucks, period. Understand that. So the demons that work at the Starbucks are group stalking with the demons that are group stalking with Starbucks at the facilitating venue under the fake sun in engineered light, which again on video, I didn't include those videos. It's profitable with regard to the podcast because you can hear my description and whatnot, but the light activity is something that you have to see. That's why I created literally a repository of video documentation showing you the demonic, which is the impossible light, speaking to how demons are group stalking in this country, in the specific environment, identifying demonic activity, identifying the malice of the demon possessed, which is speaking to that which is capable of being studied, the mental illness that is not discussed, that is not being diagnosed, that's not addressed, with regard to comparing the propaganda, what we're told about mental illness, and you're looking at it inside of a corrupt venue such as Starbucks. It's group stalking, and everyone's staring at their desk, preparing their drinks, and they're monitoring, they're group stalking on video. And I want to be clear, I'm going to give some context. Also, in the videos, again, the light activity, I captured several videos. 3 videos are part of the podcast, okay? I have more videos, substantial video documentation showing the demonic. It is supernatural, the light activity that you see inside of the Starbucks. And while that supernatural occurrence is underway, the demons who are in fact group stalking, they outwardly conduct themselves as though there's nothing going on. They do the same thing with regard to stalking by the state in helicopters. They do the same thing with regard to the pattern of conduct while they're stalking, obsessively chasing you down, while acting as though they're disinterested. They just happen to be walking by you, they just happen to be walking behind you, they just happen to be appearing in your path, and they won't look at you, address you, but they're chasing you down, they're stalking obsessively. These are the demon possessed, and it's mental illness that you see in the videos showing that impossible light activity, and that's what I was describing. But I want to be clear, while I'm processing this audio on my phone, this is federal stalking that I'm subject to, and also psychotic behavior. These demons that are working at this Starbucks who will be prosecuted for group stalking. The entities engage in all manner of what is harassment and terrorism as an entity. So you'll have, for example, the demons that are walking in and out of the entrance at the same time that that's occurring. Remember, that's the element of crossing path. I showed you the impossible light activity. They're all under the fake sun. And the impossible light activity is stationary inside of Starbucks. And then while the demons are driving outside, it's dynamic, sweeping inside of the venue of Starbucks. While they do things such as walk by me, you have the demons that work at the venue crashing something down. So while a demon is in my path, walking right out of the door, the simultaneity of noise, they're monitoring together, and it's also harassment. They do the same thing with regard to their effort to obstruct my ability to publish this podcast. This is harassment that Starbucks, as a company, a corrupt company, the Starbucks in Ontario, the Starbucks on Euclid Avenue, as you heard that crashing right now, that's a sex offender that's also monitoring my genitalia. As I crash my elbow on right now on the table, that demon that's preparing drinks and is actually focused on group stalking me while being employed by the corrupt company Starbucks is stalking with noise. And you know that because the supernatural is on video, conclusive evidence of the group stalking baristas. That's the context regarding the noise that you heard in the background right now, because I engaged in a new behavior, touching the table with my elbow, and a demon who's a sex offender who's monitoring my nude body, my genitalia in a bathroom, which is sexual violence that the entity also acts like they're not engaged in. But again, the acting of the demon possessed is relevant to the malice. It's relevant to the mental wards that they will be imprisoned in. It's not relevant to any persuasive appearance of innocence or ignorance or accidental engagement in criminal monitoring, which is surveillance. This is a massive demon possession. This is public corruption, and this is criminal activity that the government is engaged in as well. You need to know that the mayor is mentally ill. You need to know that the mayor is a sex offender. The mayor is a group stalker, sharing the exact same condition. This is shared by the demon that wants to be esteemed as a chief of police. Satan occupies this person, and this is a person who is a whore for the devil, okay? It's sitting in this position of leadership while this sort of psychotic pattern of conduct is underway by police departments. That's what you need to know. That's what Starbucks is teaching you about, okay? These are psychopaths that bear weapons and wear badges, and they're engaged in the same exact psychotic pattern of conduct. Group stalking, not focused on law enforcement, not protecting and serving, obsessively monitoring somebody's genitalia as a whole department. Obsessively engaged in stalking somebody while you're eating top ramen in your living room, minding your business. And it is something that the terrorist organizations are obsessing over. As you move your fork, as you move your head, as you begin to swallow, as you shift eye direction, that's what demons are focused on. Every single move you make, that's what police departments who are actually terrorist organizations are monitoring. In the same way that you are witnessing mental illness and sexual violence as it is evidenced and under the fake sun and engineered light, while a bunch of mentally ill sex offenders are looking to the left and the right, you don't focus on that. You do focus on it with regard to understanding mental illness as I'm exposing it. These are psychopaths. These are the ticking time bombs that will also walk into a building and start shooting fire, okay, and killing people. Those same ones that are acting like nothing's happening amongst the impossible light activity, amongst the stalking by helicopter. All right, those are the ticking time bombs that are group stalking in California. These are the demon possessed. This is the malice with which they're engaging in targeting someone, and they're all intentionally and knowingly doing that. Okay, and so the specific environment is speaking to the malice whereby an entity would like to outwardly demonstrate that they're not focused on, remember, to stalk somebody, you're focused on them. The entity seeks to, by their outward conduct, demonstrate the fact that they're not focused on you. They're not stalking you because they're not focused on you. They're not even looking at you. The specific environment directly rebuts that. It is the conclusive proof, the evidence, which again is relevant for the federal tribunal where the state will be prosecuted, and it is speaking to malice, and it's speaking to what is severe mental illness and gross, egregious sexual conduct of a predatory nature. But you need to understand how Satan operates. So what you will look at, you look at that light activity and then take another look at the demons that would like for you to just disregard it and want you to be convinced that they're not stalking like you clearly see that they are. Okay? The entity is group stalking. Every third-party license plate is documented. This is the shared pattern of conduct. The Montclair Starbucks on Ramona and Holt Boulevard, same exact pattern. Light activity while the demons are monitoring via the drive-thru, group stalking inside of the venue. Their drinks are prepared. They go and get their drinks at the bar with regard to monitoring me while demonic light activity fills the venue. You need to understand that Starbucks serves Satan. Starbucks hires the demons. Starbucks provides, and the consumers are demons, and they're engaged in criminal monitoring. This is the ongoing corporate engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring by corrupt companies such as Starbucks, which is literally the illustration. They are, again, the quintessence of public corruption in America. Because what do you see when you see social media, when you think of California, for example, LA? Starbucks. You got your coffee, you got your latte, all right? And they got their sunglasses on, all right? They have their skinny jeans on. They have their vapes. And this is, again, the life while they're under the fake sun, by the way, in that commercial on social media. It's not even the natural environment, and they're exhibiting demon possession to you, but you're just not aware of it. This is what Starbucks represents, and it's letting you know what's wrong with this country. Putting on, making something that is perverted, something that is criminal, something that is malicious, something that is wicked, something that is satanic, and painting it as something that's pretty and attractive and coveted. All right, that's what Starbucks represents. The people in the state are group stalking and terrorizing with light activity. They're terrorizing with audible activity, and they're terrorizing while they're also stalking in the bathroom. Starbucks is a violent sex offender. Every single last one of these baristas, they are engaged in and interested in monitoring genitalia. And while they're simultaneously preparing a drink,
as you are physically indisposed, as your genitalia is exposed, as you're spreading your legs. So they're out here under the guise of preparing drinks. Remember, it's unpersuasive. They're under the fake sun preparing drinks. They're in engineered light that's sweeping all inside of the venue, a supernatural occurrence. And you, again, you're supposed to be some ignoramus that's just going to disregard that. Okay? The entity never intended for a targeted individual to be able to articulate what Satan is doing, the ways in which Satan does it, and who Satan is doing it through. So now that you have this information, there is nothing persuasive about the fact that you are conclusively stalking someone with audible activity, as you understand how that is executed, while you're monitoring genitalia in a bathroom. That's what Starbucks is engaged in. That's what Starbucks is making money while it's engaged in sexual violence. Starbucks is going to be prosecuted as a company, and also the demons that Starbucks employs while engaging in that criminal activity. And Starbucks holds hands with the demon-possessed, the people of the state, who you already know are demons. They're group stalking on the roads and the highways under the fake sun, in hotels that I stay in under the fake sun, and at the commercial venues such as Starbucks under a fake sun. Okay? And sex offenders, they exhibit hostility as you report the fact that they are indeed sex offenders. They are mentally ill sex offenders. That's why they're mad about the fact that you report that they're sex offenders. That's what Starbucks is. That's what Starbucks does. All right? You will see stationary impossible light activity inside of this venue. Pay attention to the screenshots, the videos. You will also see elaborate. This is the work of Satan. That's what's preparing your drinks, by the way. Be mindful. Be mindful. Demons are preparing your latte drinks that you're paying for. It is currently 11:23 a.m. This is documentation of ongoing harassment and terrorism by the entity, the demon-possessed that are chasing me into Starbucks. And that is conclusive evidence that's supported by the fake sun. I don't care if you arrive at this same Starbucks every morning. Today, you're targeting me. That's why the specific environment follows. Understand how the group stalking system works. The entity is in an unintelligent manner, relying on the traditional definition of stalking. They're engaging in group stalking. It's a crime committed corporately by a population. And it's also highly unintelligent. All your understanding is, first of all, very clearly, which anybody can see. The impossible light activity, it is direct evidence, not circumstantial, and it will be prosecuted as such. Direct evidence of federal group stalking and monitoring. You've got a lot of companies that are incriminated by what Starbucks is engaging in plain sight. Okay? It is called impunity and malice. All right, it's currently 11:24 a.m. The fake sun remains over the Starbucks in Pomona. And again, let me give you the the address of the sex offender going by the name Starbucks. Alrighty, this is Starbucks that is located at 3423 Pomona Boulevard, Pomona, California. Starbucks is monitoring me with the whole population. Temple and Pomona Avenue, they are group stalking as a population. Those are the demons that are pacing on the roads and the highways. They're also group stalking at Starbucks, while it has the ongoing cycling of impossible light, has terrorism via directed light, and the ability for me to capture a pattern, that type of pattern, which is a supernatural occurrence when it happens once. This is speaking to what is an unmistakable and irreducible level of evidence prosecuting a population that is engaged in a shared pattern of conduct. It is also exposing to you what is demonic activity. All right? This is coloring the crime. This is terrorism that's intended to psychologically harm the one that they want to murder and kidnap. This is supposed to be a sacrifice unto Satan, while all the demon-possessed who serve Satan are group stalking in California. And it's the government's criminal system, and the government does it with the demon-possessed population. It is currently 11:25 a.m. Ongoing harassment and terrorism as an entity that's engaged in group stalking and federal stalking, while they're, in other words, hostile, and they engage in ongoing harassment as an entity and terrorism as an entity, with a whole bunch of psychopaths that are standing around monitoring me. P.O.C. All right, this is documentation of a sex offense committed by the demons. You'll see many of their images, including Gabby. That's one of the demons' names, who are preparing drinks while federal group stalking and monitoring is underway. This is a demon-possessed person who's maliciously engaging in a statewide system, and she's getting paid at the rate of a barista to conspire with the state to murder and kidnap someone. And the evidence of that is the fake sun is over her job where she works, and engineer light fills its spectacular impossible light activity where this demon works. And it's a team of employees who are demons who are group stalking with the team of third parties who are group stalking, that are the people of the state that are just filling the venue, engaging in surveillance. I want to document at 1:14 p.m. based on the evidence. You'll see it on YouTube. I'm publishing video regarding the fake sun on November 11, 2024 at 12:43 p.m. And I am juxtaposing that with what you will see. If you'll recall, daylight savings time ended on November 3rd. So I am, for illustrative purposes, because daylight savings time does not apply when this is not the natural environment, but because the evidence of the P.O.C. is scientifically relevant, and so I find it beneficial to conform to these rules. And it also is beneficial because you will see, as I conform to daylight savings time rules, it doesn't even apply. You'll see that it doesn't apply because the fake sun stays stagnant, stationary all day long. This is not the natural environment, therefore it does not apply. But even so, when I can reference a video with regard to daylight savings time, for example, LAPD group stalking in Los Angeles during daylight savings time, that will be 11:43 a.m., while outside of daylight savings time today, 12:43 p.m. As I reference this video on YouTube, which again, everything that I'm doing is subject to surveillance, my crotch, my genitalia area, where the entity is obsessed with me, they molest my genitalia area with, and forgive me for my verbiage, but I'm going to be very clear with what these sex offenders are doing, because they're the ones that are going to be prosecuted for being sex offenders. You've seen many of their images. They're in the screenshots with regard to the exact same pattern of conduct. These demons are pacing back and forth to the trash can that's beside me. The entity isolated me with regard to this being the location to sit inside of the venue, meaning they had a very pungent smelling homeless person that was loud and making a lot of ruckus, which was monitoring. This is intended, the entity anticipates, of course, I'm not going to sit close to this person. These are demons. I'm just pointing out their psychotic mindset and how you're subject to targeting in any parking space, any location where you're at. They are surrounding you, and they are, in other words, engaging in conduct where you don't have any choice other than to sit or other than to park somewhere. Even where you are in traffic, where you stop. It's a matter of targeting. This is how detailed the demons are. And so where I'm sitting is based on the availability, which was an intentional act. All of that detail is relevant, and you know it because of the fake sun and the engineered light and all of the state's pattern of conduct. While I am subject to surveillance online, you've seen many of these demons' faces as I zoom in on them, and then you're reading the caption. They are all engaged in monitoring my genitalia. My genitalia is the area of my body that's being molested with impossible light activity. That's speaking to an intent to touch my body at that specific location, and this is based on the hostility by the demons that are group stalking on Temple. Okay, this is surveillance, and these are demons that are group stalking with Starbucks, including the demon named Gabby. Everybody working with Gabby at Starbucks, located at let me get Gabby's address, her work address, because Gabby is going to be prosecuted as a domestic terrorist and a violent sex offender engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, and criminal facilitation of that very serious federal offense. It is the Starbucks that is located at 3423 Pomona Boulevard in Pomona, California. That's where Gabby is currently working, and the Starbucks is organizing federal group stalking and monitoring in the same way that Courtyard by Marriott is organizing by placing the demons in the hotel rooms around me, engaging in group stalking with the demons that are at the hotel. That's what Starbucks is doing. As they prepare their drinks, they're monitoring me. As they are providing the drinks to the demons who are walking to and forth and driving away from the drive-thru. These demons are engaged in systematic group stalking, relevant positioning, light activity, audible activity creation. Very psychotic. This is what Gabby, a demon-possessed person, this is a mentally ill, violent sex offender who is acting with the entire entity that is represented by the demons that are maintaining presence. This is surveillance by the population who are the people of the state at Starbucks. Okay, this is also public corruption. You will see the video evidence that is speaking to that. What I'm speaking to now is a sex offense that I'm subject to, which is within the pattern of conduct, the perpetual sex offense. A demon driving on what is Temple. As they cross path, my genitalia area, I'm sitting down in a chair in the depth of a building, far away from the street, even at the drive-thru. Driving period will never result in horizontal light shooting into buildings like you saw on video inside of the Starbucks. That same exact light activity, targeting my genitalia with it. And this is based on what the entity is keeping under surveillance, which is my video. So I want you to look at it because this is what the entity is fearful of. And the entity is going to be prosecuted as violent sex offenders, and they engage in sexual violence while they monitor you, and they are in fact fearful, but you need to understand the public safety concern. The demon-possessed, who are violent sex offenders and psychopaths, these are ticking time bombs, they resort to sexual violence when they are caught engaging in criminal conduct of a very serious nature. The entity's mindset is, again, like I stated, to engage in murdering more people instead of ceasing to engage in the murder that they are very likely to be convicted of, as they are in control of, and by control I mean they are either in custody of it, they are manipulating it, they are literally keeping it under surveillance. This is what the entity is doing. And they are fearful of that evidence, and they engage in, they decide in their demented and severely deranged mindset to engage in more sexual violence as a result. Rather than to cease to engage in murders, the entity will resort to murdering more people because they're fearful of the evidence that they committed a murder. Okay? And of course, a sane person does not reason that way. And I'm not saying that sane people are going around murdering people. You should not. And there is some sort of issue if you're murdering folks. But again, there are a plethora of facts and situations where, you know, and being somebody that practices law and the criminal law, there are different elements present with regard to the type of loss of life and circumstances. But this is a specific type of mental illness. This is those that are psychotic. Those that are engaging in conduct that they know is inappropriate, unlawful. They know it's criminal. They know it's sexually perverted. They know that it's weird because it's demonic. They know that it's that which, if it were true, it would make them look crazy, as opposed to them acting like they're not doing it and trying to make the target individual look crazy. That's the purpose of the demon possessed, and they sorely lose in that endeavor. But I want to be clear, the entity is targeting my genitalia while group stalking on Temple. This is exactly what they're doing while they're sitting inside. Gabby and all the rest of the demons that are making drinks are also targeting my genitalia. All the demons that are group stalking inside of Starbucks are also targeting my genitalia while they are together monitoring this evidence. As I'm referencing the video that I published regarding LAPD engaging in the same exact pattern of conduct that's underway here at the Pomona Starbucks, at the address that I referenced. The video, which is the same time if you're referencing daylight savings time, and I do that because you will see that it is still proving what is a fake sun, and under no circumstances, give or take away an hour, will the sun be at both of those locations at the same time. And the duration of time analysis with regard to what is a non-moving sun, there is no provision for there to be a sun at any other location when I've shown it remaining stationary at one address for the duration of the day. So under all circumstances, it is, even as you include daylight savings time, the fake sun. And as I referenced video documentation on June 24, 2024 at 11:47 a.m. This is what I am referencing in the video that I'm publishing today, yesterday, November 11, 2024 at 12:43 a.m. This is a negligible difference of 4 minutes. 11:47 on June 6, 2024 during daylight savings time, and 12:43 p.m. yesterday when I'm at Courtyard by Marriott, and that is including the daylight savings time difference. That's what I reference with regard to being precise. If you want to be precise in proving the fact that this is a specific environment, this is a crime scene where psychopaths, who you see them with this demonic light activity, looking to the left and right, this is what group stalking appears as. This is where the entity seeks to kidnap and murder an American citizen and feign ignorance, or together they are lying together. The group stalkers make up and control the narrative together, where they are conducting themselves outwardly as they are disinterested, ignorant, and under no circumstances targeting that person. That's the person that they seek to murder and kidnap. All right, and that's a threat to your life. It's not showing. If you look at the evidence, none of them look innocent, nor do they look normal. They look like the demons that they are. All right, and they do more of it the more that I publish, the more that I expose. For example, this video that I'm going to publish and connect to yesterday's video at Courtyard by Marriott, showing what is, again, the fake sun that is over Courtyard by Marriott and Hesperia, and the fake sun that remained over Alvarado Gardens at the same time when you are including daylight savings time. As I reference this video on YouTube, where my documentation is subject to surveillance, a demon that is crossing path on Temple, which is crossing path conduct, driving by, is criminal, crossing of path, relevant positioning, while my genitalia is the focus of impossible light activity. And then you have sex offenders that are maintaining conversation. What you hear in the background is audible activity, while impossible light activity fills the venue. As they are laughing and getting up, getting their drinks, walking in and out of the building, it's light activity and relevant positioning and audible activity, while the fake sun remains over the venue in a manner that is impossible to maintain. Why am I referencing today at Starbucks with regard to yesterday at 12:43? Because I captured video, which you will also see today at 12:44 p.m., which is in reference to yesterday at 12:43 p.m. in Hesperia. And that light source is a low-hanging light source directly sitting on the roof of that hotel in Hesperia. It is not not only is it not over any other city, it's not over any other location. It's clearly over the Hesperia's Courtyard by Marriott at what is 9619 Mariposa Road. And today, a clear departure from that. The fake sun is hovering and remaining since 9:52 a.m. since I arrived here, where you're seeing impossible lights cycle inside of the building, where demons are continuously engaging in terrorism, which Gabby and every other demon working at the venue are going to be prosecuted for. The demons that are documented by license plate are going to be prosecuted for. The government, the people of the state are going to be prosecuted for. So I just want to be clear. That's impunity and malice while they engage in what is terrorism, while they conspire to murder and kidnap someone. Psychopaths sit around and listen to the evidence against them. Psychopaths continue to engage in that conduct when they are proven to be the stalkers and the sex offenders that the people of the state and the state of California are. This is relevant to the mental examinations upon the criminal prosecution of the state. And I'm referencing this video today because at 12:44, the fake sun that you see outside of this Starbucks in Pomona, California, is not hovering, sitting on the roof of the Courtyard by Marriott. And that is not the sun that was over Courtyard by Marriott. Neither is this the sun that would be remaining since 9:52 a.m., nor would it be at the same time remaining over Courtyard by Marriott in Hesperia, literally over the roof at the entrance as I walk out, and still remaining here at the Starbucks in Pomona at the facilitating venue where I'm located at Pomona Boulevard and Temple. This is where demons are targeting my genitalia with impossible light activity because they are aware of the probative value of the video that's referencing LAPD, who is also going to be prosecuted. This is a state actor engaging in the same exact criminal system that Starbucks is engaging in as the people of the state with the corrupt government. Who was that in Pomona? The Pomona Police Department is being prosecuted while I'm documenting the demons who fill the city of Pomona, who is group stalking, okay? And it's the same with the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department that have, again, they are exercising fictitious authority under the law within the jurisdiction of LA County while being the Sheriff's Department in Pomona, all right, for LA County. This is prosecuting the entire government while Starbucks is practicing federal group stalking and monitoring. And my genitalia is the focus of this impossible light activity while a demon knows exactly what I'm doing on the internet, knows exactly where I'm located, knows exactly who I am. And that's all that you know when you see impossible light activity shooting inside of the Starbucks. And the sex offenders, the mentally ill psychopaths, provide that wealth of evidence against themselves, failing to appear in the way that the demons sought to appear. They sought to look innocent. They don't. They don't. You're looking at the supernatural. You're looking at mental illness when you see them looking around, staring down at their books, playing with a deck of cards, studying together on the computer, laughing at the top of their lungs like everything is so funny when you're looking at that impossible light activity. These are the demons that act together to murder and kidnap American citizens. And then the government controls the narrative, falsely depicting that targeted individual as being suicidal, being a paranoid schizophrenic, having hallucinations, being bipolar, being a threat to the public, to the people of the state, to the public, that is actually targeting them. These are the psychopaths that you see looking to the left and right like nothing is happening, targeting my genitalia like nothing is happening with that same exact impossible light activity under a fake sun like nothing is happening while the entity is stalking by police, by fire and ambulance, with a population who are targeting that, who are the people of the state. So I want to point that out. That sexual violation that I'm subject to, it's within the pattern of conduct of what is the perpetual sex offense. Monitoring in bathrooms, stalking in bathrooms, the placement of engineered light, terrorism, molesting your body with impossible light activity. Impossible light activity is stationary across my thighs right now while demons are monitoring me. This is the ongoing predatory intent to keep touching you while they're monitoring you, and it's not even naturally occurring. The fake sun that would be remaining over, and it's not a would be, it's actually, I caught it directly over the roof, so hunkered down, not in the sky, but above the roof of the Courtyard by Marriott in Hesperia. If that's the sun, then it's not outside of the window of the Starbucks in Pomona, California. It is impossible. Not only is it outside, it's been here in Pomona to the great departure of the sun being at a position the next day, because that's the natural environment. The sun would be over that courtyard in Hesperia. While that specific environment is captured, demons one after another, this is hundreds of people that are engaging in the perpetual sex offense together. The business records of Starbucks providing the people of the state to be prosecuted for domestic terrorism. I've captured the images of the demons. I've captured the license plates. I've captured the address of the venue. I've captured the specific environment. This is the prosecution of another corrupt business. And Starbucks and I just want to be clear, it is every single Starbucks that I've documented. I've documented this pattern of conduct with the terrorism via directed light. At the Ontario at 706 West Holt in Ontario, California. That's the Starbucks, replete with the entities stalking by helicopter and airplanes, fake sun rising and setting at that Starbucks in Ontario, and the impossible light activity on the inside. This is what Starbucks does. This is what Starbucks is about. Acting with the state to murder and kidnap while they just happen to be engaged in profiting, making coffee while they do that. Okay, Starbucks is engaged in terrorism in the U.S. and they make money under the guise of a logo while doing so, and it is a matter of public corruption. All right, they're doing so with regard to the Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue in Ontario, where the entity has the fake sun at that Starbucks in Ontario from early in the morning. This is 6, 7 in the morning until after 4, 5, 6 in the evening, which is sitting on the record. This is documentation where the entity is again group stalking with impossible light activity inside of that Starbucks in Ontario. The Starbucks in Montclair. I stated Monrovia. I meant the Starbucks. But yes, all the Starbucks in Monrovia are group stalking. I'm referencing those that I sat in and I documented, and the entity inflicted this harm and engaged in this terrorism, group stalking me with the state. That's what I'm referencing, those specific venues. And in Montclair, off of Ramona and Hope Boulevard, the entity kept the fake sun from morning until late into the afternoon when I got on Omnitrans, went to Pomona, went back to Ontario. The entity keeping the fake sun, impossible light activity in the same manner while demons are group stalking via Starbucks' drive-through, by the people of the state pacing in and out all around. In the stationary impossible light activity, the demons that are targeting, seeking to murder and kidnap American citizens in this country, they do so while they are conducting themselves, no matter how psychotic it looks, because it doesn't look normal, no matter how clearly demonic they appear, because they don't look like normal human beings. They look like the demons that I have established that they are, that I stated from the beginning, and that the tangible evidence establishes while they're engaging in criminal conduct. They look like demons while that impossible light activity is flying all inside of this venue, and while it's plastered on the walls and on the floors inside. The entity is doing so with real-time knowledge that they're being documented. And psychopaths engage in that which the entity does with real-time knowledge of the documentation. That's also relevant to the ways in which this entity is going to be prosecuted. And while targeting my genitalia area with impossible light activity, the entity does so with the intent to obstruct justice. That would put Gabby in federal prison. I just want to point that out. Gabby is clearly seen in relevant position, not protected under any circumstances while she is working in the specific environment. While terrorism, you see the impossible light activity, that puts Gabby in federal prison. The fake sun, that puts Gabby in federal prison. The entity stalking by helicopter last night, patrolling, that puts Gabby in federal prison. The ongoing molestation of my body, monitoring me in the bathroom, the sex offense that Gabby is engaged in, doing so with impunity, even that with regard to the level of a threat to my life with all of the population who are in the people of the state of Pomona, California, even that level of impunity puts Gabby in federal prison. I just want to point that out to you, while the entity is targeting my genitalia area because of the probative value of the LAPD group stalking under the fake sun at the same time with regard to daylight savings time. That is the act of hostility that the demons continuously exhibit. They do the same thing through amplified audible activity. They do the same thing through the maintenance of just mere noise. Again, Gabby and the rest of these demons just loudly making their coffee drinks while the demons are pacing all around me inside of the venue. This is, again, a demon that is seeking to harass and terrorize you while they repeatedly pace around in the engineered light that's placed inside of the venue. Or you can see in the video my shadow is enlarged on the ground in front of me and enlarged at a distance away from me on the wall, where Gabby has no constitutional protection and has no constitutional legal argument to avoid federal prison. I just want to point that out again. All right, Gabby is working with a team of demons who are group stalking with Starbucks, and this is, again, exposing what Starbucks is as a company nationwide. All right, and Starbucks, I believe, is also international. This is what they're doing in other countries as well. All right, it is currently 1:34 p.m. This is documentation of the perpetual sex offense. Everything that you hear in the background, it's all audible activity. And this is speaking to a very detailed criminal pattern of conduct. and it is inherently designed to obstruct justice, and the entity likes to engage in sexual violence, molesting my genitalia with impossible light activity, because they're monitoring, in violation of Title 18, the evidence that's going to be submitted in federal court, but it's also going to be used to shame companies like Starbucks, also relevant to civil damages that Starbucks is going to compensate me for, and the prosecution of the entire state of California, not just the people of the state and Starbucks. It is currently 1:35 p.m. This is P.O.C. All right, criminal summoning by the demons, group stalking. That is LA County Fire, heavily documented terrorist, and all they're doing is group stalking in Pomona. Under the fake sun, that's over the same Starbucks where it was at 9:52 in the morning. It's currently 2:51 in the afternoon. The fake sun is still aimed on this same exact location. The demons are pacing while they're stalking with light activity, both entering and exiting the venue, also pursuant to the hostility by these mentally ill, sex-offending group stalkers that are monitoring the evidence. So they're walking with extraordinarily vibrant and far-reaching impossible light as they open and close the door, which, as I documented this morning, changes in size, color, concentration, and the manner in which it manifests inside of the building, such as it appearing before on the inside of the Starbucks where I walked in, and then walking out, going out of the same door that opens in the same manner. The impossible light activity goes on the outside of on the sidewalk, and both positions of that light is impossible. That's never naturally happening. It's demonic. This is what they're doing with regard to terrorism via directed light. Gabby and the rest of the demons that are engaged in criminal summoning with LA County Fire, that's also federal prison. All right, while they're facilitating state surveillance, engaging in monitoring my genitalia, molesting me with impossible light on my genitalia while I'm sitting here, and they're engaging in harassing me because I'm publishing video documentation, federal prison. It's currently 2:52 p.m. LA County Fire is driving on Temple in Pomona, where I'm at the same Starbucks, and they are crossing paths, sounding their sirens right as they drive by the building itself, and then they stop sounding the sirens once they drive by. And the fake sun is still here. I'm going to take a picture of that right now. This is P.O.C. at the Starbucks. Again, the location is 3423 Pomona Boulevard in Pomona, California. This is P.O.C. All right, capturing group stalking by the state. This is the venue where the entity kept a fake sun all day long, and all of that impossible light activity. All these demons are stalking as I get out of the car, getting back in their vehicles, feet on the brakes, group stalking with the entity that's flying over by plane and helicopter, 7XVW 310. Walking around in the parking lot with multiple shadows. The state, the Pomona Police Department, stalking in planes and helicopters, and they were stalking all day at Starbucks with the demons that are patrons at Starbucks. This is group stalking in Pomona, just like it's group stalking in West Covina. Okay? This is Richard Bell over the West Covina Police Department. That's a terrorist leader. It's not a chief of police. They're engaged in group stalking. They're a bunch of gang members, and so is Pomona. They're a bunch of gang members. They're a bunch of sex offenders, and they're stalking over Starbucks where a fake sun remained all day long. These demons that work for Starbucks are group stalking with a corrupt police department, and they're all demons. This is P.O.C. I took images of the entity stalking by plane. 5:47 p.m. All right, license 7ZSX441, 8LYV356, 9H. NJ745, 9EEN 703, 5NFE 248. These are sex offenders molesting me while they're stalking me on the roads and the highways. License 8SKE599. This is how obsessed they are. They are always trying to touch me. Okay, they're not even touching in ways that are natural, and they don't ask you for consent. Hey, can I touch you? They stalk you and they molest your body with engineered light so that they can more effectively keep you under surveillance. This is what the legion of demons in California engage in. It is group stalking. 8ENG400. And it's currently 5:56 p.m. All these demons are at Mission Boulevard and Temple at 5:56 p.m. And all these demons, all these sex offenders, because that's what they are. That's what the demon-possessed are about. That's what they practice. They go home to little kids that are in their custody, under their control, influenced by them, violated by them, taught to violate others by them. Just want to point that out. It's currently, again, 5:57 p.m. All right, Pomona police tracking my direction while the people of the state are surrounding me on the roads and the highways. It's currently 6 p.m. And so when I look to my left while I'm driving on I believe I'm on Rancho Verde. I'm going to confirm the street I'm on right now. I look to my left, and the demon that is stalking in a helicopter is flying over the houses outside of my view, but they're keeping in alignment with me. License 9EEN 703 is group stalking with the state. I'm at Rustic Glen and Village Loop. License 9NDT 983. And they are patrolling over the sky space. So flying in the same direction that I'm driving at Village Loop, and flying perpendicular to the direction that I'm driving, but they're pacing, they're patrolling. So you've got planes that are covering the sky space, flying in the same direction, in stride with each other, perpendicular to the direction I'm driving, while the entity by helicopter was flying in the same direction that I was driving. This is aerial surveillance. All right, and this is a threat to your life as well. Pomona Police is going to be fully prosecuted. They're going to be fully handled. It is currently 6:02 p.m. This is P.O.C. And it's not just the police department, but they will be taking a forefront regarding terrorist organizations in California. You've got another beehive full of demons. They are demon infected. And they are engaging in great expenditures for criminal activity, criminal surveillance. This is what they're using the money for. This is what they're using the money for. It's currently 6:02 p.m. This is P.O.C. Let's see. 8RVH 342 and 9JFK 309. They're doing their due diligence, making sure where it is that I stop on the road, I'm surrounded with light. The demons are lined up far enough so that I can be in alignment with an open driveway, and a demon comes right into position, appearing as though they're waiting to get into traffic. That demon is stalking in the path, aiming light on me. 8RVH 342. That's a psychopath. That's a sex offender. It's a predatory mindset. The goal is to touch with light. That's a predatory mindset. They want to touch you with their genitals and you didn't consent to it. They want to touch you with their hands or any other part of their body onto yours, and you didn't consent to that. These demons do this with light, amongst other things, to people that also don't consent to it and can't defend themselves, including, let me see, the demons of the Pomona Police. Their group stalking license 9AUA 606 is going to federal prison. All right. They're communicating, and failing. The demons that engage in this conduct end up in federal prison. It's not going to stop justice, the wheels of justice. It's also not going to silence a federal prosecutor. That's not going to work. License plate 9JFK 309, that's federal prison. While the Pomona Police are not coincidentally crossing paths, while I'm talking about the fact that the entire police department are filled with a bunch of sex offenders. That's why they're crossing paths right now, because it's the truth. They're a bunch of sex offenders, and they're going to be stripped of the positions that they're stealing from other people that won't serve Satan, that won't secretly rape and molest and sex traffic kids, and do so with the public, the people of the state that they're group stalking with, because they serve Satan in those sexually perverted manners. That's what's going to happen to the Pomona Police Department. It's currently 6:07 p.m. This is an entity trying to communicate a threat, and it's failing miserably. People go to federal prison when you want to group stalk a federal investigator. That doesn't work out very well. License 7PPB 315. It's currently 6:07 p.m. All right. While I'm at Rio Rancho, Ontario, not Ontario Police. The Pomona Police Department are crossing paths in real time. These demons are obsessed with every word that I say, including my genitalia. And as I speak about the fact that they like to penetrate children, they engage in sexual violence. They're violating the consent of another that they don't have. It's not a coincidence that a demon that's representing a corrupt terrorist organization crosses path. And while they do so, every other cockroach around here is going to federal prison right along with them. Let me be clear. These terrorist organizations are going to they're going to confess who was in relevant position. Understand how this is going to work. That demon will go to federal prison, and everybody else I document in relevant position will go to federal prison. It's currently 6:08 p.m. This is P.O.C. That's the criminal intent to obstruct justice, trying to threaten, all right, by virtue of your presence. This is the same demons that seek to kidnap you, harass you, falsely accuse you, manufacture charges. They're not just passing in traffic under a fake sun and an engineered light at nightfall. That's group stalking, and it's a communication of a threat. It's a federal offense. It's currently 6:08 p.m. This is P.O.C. 7THK326. P.O.C. Alrighty, license 1644117. This is vehicle 20887. And this is indeed police. It says vehicle 22 on the back as well. This is at Rancho Valley Drive and Auto Center Drive. And they're group stalking with the people of the state. License 8LKH702. License 5JBA619. License 9BYV001. And this is, let me get another third party license. 9KFP886. This is akin to the demons sitting around while you're looking at the supernatural engineered light just flying about in the middle of the air. And this is what they're doing right now, group stalking right in your face. And these are the demons that are under an illusion that they're going to escape punishment for it, because they're not. They're going to federal prison for what I just documented. It's currently 6:10 p.m. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, capturing images of the entity group stalking by the, this is not a police department, this is a terrorist organization. I just want to confirm it is indeed the demons of the police, Pomona police. This is P.O.C. Touching with light 7MOP282. And as I record, you can hear the acceleration. Those are demons monitoring together. There's no coincidences. It's a specific environment. A fake sun remaining over one building all day long. This is the system of group stalking. This is a sex offender group stalking with ARCO, who's making money off of a group stalker that's coming to the same gas stall, number 4, right behind me, stalking in the path with light. License again, 7MOP282, POC. All right, stalking by aircraft, pacing in the sky space. License T586TH, Utah. Group stalking with the state. 9AUA530. And ARCO is engaged in criminal facilitation, not only based on the fact that it's a facilitating venue and the fact that the state is stalking over the real property of this commercial actor who is gang stalking themselves. The employee is group stalking as well. But the entity has flashing light on the side of the building. That's facilitation. There's no malfunction or broken lights or anything. It's light activity. ARCO is group stalking. And it's currently 6:16 p.m. License, oh, I read that one. License 9MVX164. License 9BEN618. License 9LCH998. 93638Z3. 8CAR576, 9BEN618. License 7MDV825. And ARCO is group stalking at what is 805 Rio Rancho Road in Pomona, California. This is POC. It is currently 6:18 p.m. All right, molesting with engineered light. License. These are sex offenders. 48985H3. 82716S1, 9JBG577, 8VKR807, 5MZM299. They're gratified by touching all over your body, molesting you with engineered light. 6VFW45. And it's currently 6:38 p.m. All right, these are violent sex offenders. These are terrorists, and they like to blind you with light. It's nightfall. You're blinding with light. That can result in an accident. It's an unlawful threat to my life and my safety as well. While it's a sex offense, it's a part of the perpetual sex offense that the demons are always engaging in. The multiple ways in which I've defined the sex offense, that is group stalking. All right, license plate. They're doing so. These sex offenders are on the roads and highways going home to threaten other people that they have connections to. And that's also exactly why they're going to be prosecuted as terrorists. 6VFW459, in case I didn't read that plate correctly. Foothill Transit, a heavily documented group stalker. License 8VDL304. Foothill Transit, they're engaging in group stalking by sitting at the bus stop with their hazard lights on, not in service. They're stalking in the path with light. License 6TSU122. License 8PHZ127. Just one sex offender after another. One after another. One after another. A population of sex offenders to be recognized and prosecuted like the sex offenders that they are. The predators that they are. Group stalking in California. And to place appropriate restrictions around them so that they can't have custody and access to children. They can't just move into any neighborhood that they want. They can't just have any job that they want. Like any sex offender should be treated. Like it's currently 6:39 p.m. This is POC. And it's not different with the sex offenders that like to call themselves the Pomona Police Department. They're sex offenders. They're gang members and sex offenders. 5KER220. It's POC. All right, molesting with engineered light. The demons engage in the same exact pattern of conduct. Again, this is the mental illness of demons that are placing themselves in federal cells and getting epic federal prosecutions. While they repeat the same conduct and they get the same results. License plate 9LZR482. Molestation by impossible light activity. And the demons engage in this tactic where they're close enough to still be in alignment. They're stalking in the path of light, but they're far away enough so that I can't see their license plate. 6BFW711. That's also understanding how all of these demons are in sync. This is spiritual. Group stalking is demonic activity. 9KTE028, 9ETB880, 9HMV372, 9HAW354, 7DEZ858, 9PBG194, molesting with impossible light activity. All right. Those are the sex offenders group stalking in the same plaza where the entity had the fake sign all day long. Everybody in relevant position around that Starbucks is group stalking with them. So I sat at the Starbucks, but every venue around is simultaneously documented. You have a demon from the opposite side of the street molesting with light. While license 9PBG194 is prosecuted for that same federal offense. It's a sex offense. License 20354F2, 6CEF623. 8 UIW 920, license 7YXF 511. These are the degenerates in the city of Pomona. Pomona is a group stalker. All right. It's filled with a population of sex offenders. These are the defiled, degenerate, wicked criminals that are engaging in conduct that's not supposed to be established as any sort of unlawful offense. That's why the government is doing it with them. The government is facilitating it. That's why they engage in things such as criminal summoning. If you do anything that a group stalker doesn't know how to handle, they'll threaten to call the police, and it's literally for no reason. With reality, they're engaging in criminal summoning as a means to obstruct justice, and everybody goes to federal prison for that. But this is because they're sex offenders and they want that to be kept a secret. 9KTE028, a sex offender inclined to penetrate children, engage in sex trafficking, watch child porn, and I don't have to know this demon's name in order for that to be the case. He's engaged in a massive molestation that I did not consent to because he or she is stalking. That's a group stalker. That's what Pomona is filled with. All right, it's currently 6:47 p.m. They derive pleasure out of engaging in sexual violence. They do more and more the more that you document. And that's also relevant and at the forefront of the mind of the federal court that's going to prosecute the city of Pomona, the demons in the city of Pomona, the state of California. This is P.O.C. All right, molesting with impossible light activity. 7GAX 216, 8HAX 486. This is at Azusa and Amar in West Covina. The sex offenders that they've already demonstrated it. License 6XSP 610. 6:59 p.m. You have another city, same exact pattern of conduct, same obsession with touching me, molesting me, following me. All right. And that same unhealthy obsession with another person's genitalia that they didn't welcome. All right. These are the group stalkers in West Covina, California. It's 6:59 p.m. It is currently 7:01 p.m. The entity's gang stalking by helicopter at WINWOOD Apartments on LARK Allen, where I captured the fake sun this morning at 7:50 in the morning, which could not possibly coexist with a natural environment consisting of a sun outside of my hotel room window in Hesperia, California at Courtyard. The people that stayed at WINWOOD are group stalking. License 8PMK079. License 6FCP759, 6UTW195, 9FIM792, 7AML694, 6LWF714, 5RWE503. And again, the entity, that is the Pomona Police Department. I'm going to publish the name of the sex offender, the gang member that's masquerade, esteeming themselves as some chief of police. No, they're not. They're engaged in this despicable criminal system. They are encouraging criminal activity amongst the American public, and they want to, under the prestige of attention and claiming some position that they're unworthy to hold, calling themselves police officers and captains and chief of police. They're an infection. They're a wound They're poison to American society. That's why they're gang stalking in West Covina, by the way. That's why that's happening. Because that is actually what's wrong with the demons of the West Covina Police Department. 7 ESG 104. They're stalking, flying a relevant position over, let me get this license plate. Flying over LARK Allen, where I captured the fake sunrise, right? They know exactly where I'm at, what I'm doing, as I'm doing it. License 9JWH 081 79101S1. No stalker, which is criminal, by the way, has any business in law enforcement. Just to clarify that. 9FPR136, 6YAG021, 8YAJ509, 6SRV906, 6PKR199. 9HFK192. They're all stalking with a whole police department that's spending millions of dollars, by the way, on criminal activity. This is where wasted resources go, and it's wasted because it serves no legitimate purpose. It serves the appetite, the demented and sick appetite of demons who are mentally ill. They're demon possessed. That's what's wrong with these demons that are currently on the police force. They serve Satan. Satan makes sex offenders and psychopaths and stalkers. That's what's wrong with the West Covina Police Department. That's why they're stalking and spending millions of dollars to do so. License 7LAX 1Q4. License 6URJ 516. 7TIF 315. License 7ZAA 799. 7DQJ 376. 24770S2. 8VZG 655. 6MNW 832. 7Y11804, 7SLC 849, 45103S3, 6DQB 943, 9CEZ 979, 7ZLB 565, 4FSH 831. It's currently 7:05 p.m. This is P.O.C. JPM 0731, in case I didn't read that license plate. The entity is engaged in targeting via light activity. This is an admission by an entity that's engaged in a very specific and unique pattern of conduct. It's speaking to an admission that they are indeed stalking and that they are engaged in what is targeting as relevant positioning, audible activity, and light activity is underway by, again, the entity that's engaging in what is ongoing surveillance. And this is, again, impossible light activity moving inside of my car across the roof where you saw the impossible light this morning under the fake sun. That's the same light activity while demons are crossing paths. This is the city of West Covina that's engaged in, which is the state of California that is engaged in 24-hour surveillance as I'm documenting. The entity engaging in what is amplified audible activity, demonic pacing, and what is terrorism and molestation via impossible light, which is not the product of their headlights. This is speaking to the state that is indeed stalking. You also know that because the entity is stalking in helicopter, which is what I documented. You also know that because the light source, which is not the sun, it's an admission of the city of West Covina being a group stalker. That is a city full of violent sex offenders, by the way. And they are indeed doing that, stalking a woman together, conspiring, targeting her even in bathrooms. Like the city of West Covina is proven to be, again, another sick one full of sick people who are collectively engaging in the system. They're literally driving by to engage in stalking a woman. Okay. And this is what they're doing. Thousands of them. So this is surveillance that West Covina is engaged in. West Covina is doing it with the state of California, meaning the people of the state. These are demons that are consuming their time and their life with regard to criminal activity. And the city of West Covina is going to be prosecuted. This is it's exposing what is a citywide condition, demon possession, a citywide ongoing activity, criminal conduct, group stalking. The unfortunate reality is that the city of West Covina is filled with the demon possessed. So it's not the makings of a horror flick. This is the condition of the population in the city of West Covina. And they are stalking together. Very shameful. And it's going to be the subject of federal prosecution, is that they are together stalking a woman. And this is what the city, this is what the police department, this is what the population itself, its businesses in the city of West Covina are engaging in together. They're engaging in what is the pattern of conduct. Engineered light that you see moving across ceilings that you saw sweeping through Starbucks. These demons are stalking, and that's exactly what's cycling across the roof of my car. It's not the product of headlights. So these are indeed demons who are stalking, which is a terrorizing threat. And that's exactly what the city of West Covina, all the addresses, all those license plates, they're acting with impunity. It's one entity. And they are engaging in what is expressing community while they are still group stalking as a city, as the state. It is currently, again, 7:38 p.m. This is documentation of what is federal group stalking and monitoring, which the entity is engaging in 24-hour surveillance. It is the basis of what is federal prison, as I'm documenting the impunity of that entity. And I documented with regard to a sample. They were engaged in criminal summoning with West Covina police this morning under the fake sun. They're acting with impunity, still group stalking with the same corrupt police department now. And they're doing so with impunity while they're engaged in federal stalking. Every single household, every single license plate will be prosecuted. It is currently, again, 7:39 p.m. This is P.O.C.